Hi guys. Let's wait for Doy lang.
Hello.
Hello. Wait lang natin si Doy.
Kasama mo si RJ, Marco. Hey, what's up?
What's up? Papakay. Hindi, may sinabi siya. May gano'n ba siya?
Ano sabi mo, Carlo?
Parang nakita ko lang si RJ kanina. So,
Wala, na-miss ka lang daw, Arj.
Again, mas since
Hindi mo naman
nung last natin.
Na-miss mo ko, pero hindi mo ako text, you asshole. Elden Ring ka na, bro. Oh.
So Rachel, I don't yet have everyone's slides. So I think kanya-kanyang presentation na lang muna ulit.
Yeah, same as last
And
time.
then, yeah, same as earlier. And then we just say,
Aalis si Doy.
mag-ano tayo.
Bit niya yung bag niya.
Ano nakalimutan niya?
You mean
Bit niya yung
umalis
bag niya. And
Nag-accept siya ng invite eh.
maybe sa bahay na siya he's walking out. Alright.
Sige. Message ko muna. Standby na lang tayo dito in case he comes in. So, sige, more time for us to work on the report. Sige, standby lang muna. Message ko.
Ewan ko, baka sa bahay siya mag-join via Zoom.
Oo. Antayin ko na lang. Wait.
He knows. Ano, impose.
Ha?
He knows naman eh.
Yeah, pero where is it ka na lang? Yeah. That's great. Siguro after this, we're going to talk to him and
Ikot lang pala siya ng room, girl. kaya bit-bit niya yung bag niya. Oh, this is office ni Riga mag-zoom. Oy, alarm. Sorry.
hello.
Hey, Doy.
Hi.
Kala namin nakalimutan mo yung meeting.
No. Si Jake actually reminded me. Thank you.
Okay, sige. So, just a quick intro muna. So, since last Tuesday, we've had considerable amount of progress na in filling all the slides, although there still need some few annotations na lang. And then we just need to compile everything into a final report. So for now, same banana as last Tuesday, kanya-kanya muna present yung analyst, the updates they've had. So same order, we start first with Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. So Isaiah and Chuy, you can start now with Twitter.
Okay, I'll share screen now. So, hello, do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Should I start? Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, all right. So since last week, since last Tuesday, sorry, I've just updated the format a bit. Didn't really need to change that much. The thing that I've been doing lang is just updating more based on your comments. So I now have a total breakdown of the interactions here. Well, I have to change this to engagements and also a chart showing how much the total engagement retweets there. And majority of it is still about. So moving on to that, this is a new slide that I did based on the Reddit template, which everyone agreed we were going to follow. For here, I still have no. For here, same as the previous slide, but this one is more focused. The ones on top here are more focused in terms of
Pero ano itong
engagements
nasa
and
left
retweets.
side? Ano yan?
So
Oo.
this one, this is just again, this is the same chart as this one, which is just the breakdown of favorite count in retweets. Sorry, it's just a chart showing favorite counts in retweets.
But it's just it's 100% of one category of data, which
Yeah.
doesn't tell you anything.
Oh, okay. I just
Guys,
added-
comment ha kasi mahirap ba we shouldn't be putting in data that is 100% of something because then it doesn't really give any insights.
All right.
Ano ba itong data points na ito?
This is just the favorite count and the retweets. The per theme. Sorry, not per theme. Well, for the total theme,
Proportion
all
of
four
retweets
themes.
to favorite, diba? For the
Yeah.
Yeah,
entire
but
data set.
is it helpful? Because I don't see it as helpful at all. Kasi kung magpo-post tayo ng isang pie chart or isang donut, it has to have some sort of kind of insight to it. It's just that I don't see the insight here. It's just that okay, there are 1.5 million, So what's the insight here?
Okay.
Okay, Carlo, you have to take the lead here because hindi naman, we can't expect naman everyone to, di ba? Bago lang sila to be able to because tomorrow there's a lot riding on this. So,
I've constantly been working with the team on this. I recall kasi in one of our discussions, there was a suggestion that we put a breakdown of engagement on this part. So that's what Isaiah tried to present here. Is
I
that
understand.
the number of retweets completely trump the number of favorites. So the chart looks like that. We could definitely replace it with something else.
That's the point. No? So pagka ganon, dapat mabilis kayong mag-pivot to something that is more insightful. Ano yan? You were saying, Carlo?
No, I was just saying this is just purely based on that suggestion, which I think came from Monday or
I understand that. I understand. Definitely, you're right. But
So-
that's why you need to be on the leading edge here to kind of make those pivots.
Yeah, I suppose na kasi the thing with we're looking at Twitter, right, Isaiah? So the
Yeah.
thing with Twitter is typically your favorites will just be completely just dominate in terms of numbers compared to retweets. So maybe for Twitter we could do something else. Whereas on Facebook kasi, we can show, like, create donut of the different kinds of interactions, yung mga different reactions, since we do have that data. But maybe for Twitter, what do you think, Isaiah, of a chart showing the proportion of, kasi kung post to interactions, it will also look like this.
Yeah.
Pag-usapan na lang natin, Isaiah. Let's take something from the data that's available to us that we can.
Well, if you can find, if you can, in a way, parse the data and find the narratives, that'd be great. So you can have, let's say, 30% of the narrative is about Tesla's treatment of its employees, especially its Black employees. You could, I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but I mean, maybe it's not about the retweets.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of that actually comes in the following slide. Kasi at this point, we're presenting the overall picture. And then in the following, it's pre-theme. And then you see the coverage drivers there, which would include the stories, narratives, what people are saying. So the big question right now is, what kind of data do we want to show here?
Sige, pag-isipan nyo na lang.
Yeah.
Sige, thanks. It's just that medyo kasi we're in a situation where we need to kind of make sure maganda yung presentation natin bukas.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So again, just to say lang that one of the few things I have to add is just add annotations on the right side here. But yeah, moving on.
Sana lang, Carlo, ano ninyo, matulungan nyo and Rachel yung sila. Because, you know, honestly, we can't expect si Isaiah or everyone, you know, most of the team to become experts with like 1 week's worth of training, right? Especially sa matulungan natin sila dito.
Yeah, definitely. So what we did
Consensus.
was, what our approach was, so I started off with the bulk of it, right? And then I fielded off the remaining items to the rest of the team. But I will also do the final check as well as create the slides that sort of summarize everything. I will be doing that later today, probably tonight as well, so that it's ready by tomorrow. And the reason why I'm doing it today is because the team finished the pre-theme analysis today. In fact, it's near completion naman. So I need to review all of that before, before I show those slides that summarize everything, and then provide recommendations, and all of that. So that's sort of the way we divided up the work. And then I'll also be doing QA. From what I've seen naman, kasi we did a meeting this morning just in preparation for now. From what I've seen, the annotations, the notes, the synthesis are generally pretty good. And I'll also make sure to QA everything din naman. But I was pretty happy naman with yung kwento ng team kanina. Isaiah, sige, please go ahead.
All right, thanks, Kara. So for here, the time series, based on your comments last meeting, though, I actually added another, and one thing that it helped me come up with was I actually added a few more boxes up here, which provided a bit more context to what they were actually talking about. And for this one, it's still mostly about Elon Musk's comments in terms of the Build Back Better Act, as well as Dogecoin. For here though, the people were generally more negative in disposition towards Elon Musk, especially about his comments on Build Back Better. And again, this is mostly because of, well, they view him as sort of a privileged rich kid. And yeah, some additions I've done so far is to actually add a few more example tweets here on the side. Then for the top tweet, which is this one here, which is posted by Jordan Caster, I added a bit of metrics here for her engagement, and I actually forgot to add retweets here, but I will label that later. So yeah, moving on to
Isaiah, could you please do a presentation until then? Slideshow, just so the slides are a bit
Oh.
bigger.
okay, sure, sorry. Search from current slides. There, does anyone see?
Much better.
Okay, sorry. So for here, so again, moving, can I move on to the next slide here, or you guys have questions?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Yung ano lang, yung convention natin, parati tayong may commas.
Okay.
Kung 25,000 yan may comma parati, because we deal with large numbers, right?
Yeah.
So pagka umabot na ng 3 million tapos walang comma, hindi mo ma-discern million kung 3 million yan o 30 million yan or 300,000. So we always make sure that may mga ganon tayo na sa convention. Guys, importante to kasi because our readers are always in a hurry and it's hard to discern. In fact, kung ganito yung chart mo, pwede mong sabihin na 15K, 20K, 25K. At tapos yung kabilang is 900, 90M, 80M, 70M. Pwede mong ilagay na lang doon. Because the zeros, once they're more than 3, become confusing.
All right. I'll edit that out. I'll edit that later.
I mean, not just for you, Isaiah. So we need to make that a design, visual presentation convention for everything.
All right. Okay. So aside from that, I haven't really changed much. Still here, consensus on the right-hand side, left side, is again just a short synthesis on what everybody's talking about here. Moving on to this slide, discussion.
Isaiah,
I just have a...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carl.
Oh, I was just going to point out na I'm not sure if you already mentioned this, Isaiah, but this is an implementation of the direction last time that for the individual teams, we have a line for engagement and a line for the tweet count. And then the annotations are not solely for one of the two. They're for both days when there was a lot of engagement and days when there were a lot of posts. So that's how I see it. So
what's the legend again? Yung blue is
the blue is the engagement. So that's a secondary axis on the right side here, because engagement, particularly the retweets, actually really drove up how much it had. So I had to put it on a secondary axis in terms of, and tweets itself were actually fairly small in comparison to retweets.
Okay. So itong importante. You need to have an engagement per tweet ratio, which is basically just engagement divided by tweets. Tama ba? Ganun ba? Tapos ilagay niyo yun in big numbers. Yeah.
So yeah, please include that na lang, everyone. That's very easy to do.
Tweets. So you need to have... So kasi gusto nating makita dito yung kasi yung high engagement tweets, kahit na isang tweet lang yon from someone who has a lot of who has people kind of listen to, that means that it's a very efficient tweet. Kailangan natin ng measure of efficiency.
All right. Okay, so moving on from this slide is the price, sales, and customers coverage. For here, everything was generally positive towards Elon, which is just towards Elon Musk, because people were excited and happy about Dogecoin's acceptance in Tesla stores when purchasing. A lot of it is actually talking about people being happy to start purchasing from from Tesla using their cryptocurrencies, and as well as the fact that it's also sort of pushed up their enthusiasm for crypto in general as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, that's really good. So my question here is, bakit nag-iba yung color legend? Iba na bang data points natin?
yes, because I segregated by theme. So it's
It's the same data points, but it's a different theme. So parang what they tried to do is each theme has sort of its own color.
Okay, so pero standard 'yun, ano? So whenever you discuss that theme, yun yung kulay niya.
That's the idea. Although I'll still need to check across the
And do you have a
presentation,
legend at the bottom, right? So because the other question here is, ayun, may legend ka naman. Okay. As long as you had the legend, sorry.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on from that is the production and manufacturing.
Can I suggest lang pala, Isaiah?
Okay.
Please insert an axis label.
Access label, okay.
Yeah, kasi pag ganito lang, you don't know what's this axis on the left and what's on the right. So please
Alright.
insert that na lang. Yep.
All right, will do. So yeah, moving on to production and manufacturing. For here, the really high amount of tweets as well as engagement was actually on December 1, and it's also reflected by the Cyber Whistle, and people are just actually excited. And for here, this is also generally positive towards Elon Musk, because again, people are happy and excited about all the possible products that Elon might bring as well. And that was something people and also something that people were really happy about and engaged with as well actually was a tweet about Tesla China, where they showed the manufacturing process of Elon Musk. But again, the top tweet here was the Cyber Whistle for some reason, which Elon Musk himself tweeted as well. So yeah.
It's good.
34
Alright,
million engagement. Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the big question is why. And sana meron tayong journey lalo na dun sa collocates later, because ang tanong ba dito is binot brigade ba to, kaya ba siya tumaas? No? Kasi pag binot brigade mo, if i-feed siya ng Twitter algorithm sa mas maraming tao eh. So ganun ba yung nangyari? So we don't know that, no? So but I hope at some point meron tayong data that alludes to why these sorts of things happen, because they're kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I think there are models that can sort of do what do you call this? Parang it recognizes authentic tweets. And those that might come from bots. So maybe that's something we can research na lang siguro. Kasi I know that there are existing models for that. I've seen some academic papers that tried to do that. You know.
Yeah. So ang isang madaling metric dito is yung engagement, no? So at least makita natin kung gaano was it retweeted, or was it kind of retweeted by a lot of people, or was there one tweet that had a ton of engagement from Elon Musk? So it seems like parehas, no? So it seems like kasi nag-meet yung orange and blue line mo dito, so tama, was retweeted by a lot of people and at the same time got a lot of engagement. Ganun ba yung assessment natin?
Yeah. Yeah, both were very high. Of course, they're on different scales.
Yeah.
But you know, they were just really high at the same time. No? Parang may correlation siya.
Yeah, but the thing here is wala na siyang follow through. Bumagsak siya kaagad.
Yeah.
Tapos wala na siyang follow-through discussion.
Yeah, wala na.
Yeah.
So ang tanong dito ngayon, meron ka pa bang ibang picks after nitong na may follow-through discussion? Kasi ito yung hallmark of a bot brigaded tweet, no? Kasi wala namang talagang genuine interest. Malamang supported by bots lang siya.
Yeah. Kasi if you look at the screenshot here on the left of this tweet by Elon Musk, these numbers could have changed na by today, but as of the time we took this screenshot, there were already over 100,000 likes, favorites, and over 10,000 replies. Medyo malayo pa yun sa 34 million eh. So feeling ko maraming ang ibang tao na parang in-amplify lang nila yung sinabi ni Elon Musk. That's very possible.
Yun. So, ganun sana yung discussion natin kasi ang hahanapin naman parati ng kaharap natin is, oh yeah, this is an interesting chart that looks really good, but what's the insight?
Yeah. Sige, Isaiah, please continue.
Okay. So yeah. Moving on to the next and final theme here is actually fuel economy and climate change. For this one, this was actually really interesting because this is where I saw the most polarized narratives regarding Build Back Better. For the first half, which is December 7 and December 12, as you can see here, people were actually against Elon here. They were criticizing him and also pointing out the fact that Tesla started off on subsidies. And how come now when his companies actually started to become profitable, he's become sort of against subsidies as well. But following that, there was a sharp decline here, and 2 days later, December 14 and 20, this is where detractors of the Build Back Better Act started showing up. And they were sort of defending Elon by mentioning the fact that the Build Back Better Act isn't even that impactful compared to the amount of debt and cost it will incur, which is actually a tweet that Elon did when he pointed out that it would increase their national debt by around 24 trillion, I believe. So here people were sort of starting to argue more about it, especially on the later dates, with people going out of their way to support Elon, or even if not necessarily support Elon, the from Build Back Better.
Yeah, and this is interesting because kung makikita mo dito yung money BBBN, ditong 33,603 total tweets. Ito ba yung tweet ni ni David Turner? Ito ba yan?
Paul Krugman.
Paul Krugman.
Yeah.
So ito yung tweet ni Paul Krugman. And obviously, Paul Krugman doesn't have a following. So pagkatapos ng tweet niya, namatay na yung position na yun na since Joseph. And nag-ride along lang si Elon Musk sa doon sa benefits na binibigay ng gobyerno so tapos itong mga ito, whether they're organic or not, this shows na babanat na yung followers ni Elon Musk, again whether they're organic or not, because even if they're bots, they're still Elon Musk followers, right? So so hahabol sila and mas sustained yung effort nito. So versus sa Paul Krugman na wala namang machinery kasi hindi naman siya bilyonaryo.
Yeah, and this is actually something I was just saying this Build Back Better and then this sentiment expressed by Paul Krugman, this is very notable across all of the different social platforms, itong Build Back Better. Kasi the criticism of Elon Musk is that Build Back Better will result in a huge budget deficit for the US. And then people like Paul Krugman and Robert Reich, the former Labor Secretary, I believe, of Obama, who is quite progressive, parang they're pointing out the hypocrisy of Elon Musk, who enjoyed a lot of tax shields, who enjoyed subsidies, but then now biglang nag-worry siya about the deficit, about the national budget. So that's sort of the narrative that's going on here, that's being, spread by both sides.
Yeah, but that siguro ang ano lang niya natin dito is that walang na-sustain doon sa narrative ni Paul Krugman. Hindi na-sustain. Yun na yun. No? Habang itong narrative na ito, tuloy-tuloy ito na nagko-complain kahit na mababa lang. Obviously, Paul Krugman has a voice, but it's also all about consistency sa social media, right? And you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes perceived as the truth.
Yeah.
So siguro yun lang, no, na it's interesting. You might get a lot of tweets, but if you don't have consistency of message, you get drowned out.
Yeah. All right,
so
please continue. I just wanted to comment on that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So this is actually my last slide for the time series. And now I will actually go and discuss the top key phrases for all themes regarding Tesla. So for this, I'll actually demonstrate how I was able to actually make this chart, which I got from which I got a data set from Carlo, and here, which was actually already ordered in terms of score. For this, I actually removed some. I already removed some similar terms here that showed up in the top 30, so as to just make it a bit more substantial and include more keywords as well. So this is the output for the slide that I got here. I just edited a bit more in here. Here I added a trend line and color coded it better as well. So here I just wanted to discuss really quickly on the top keywords that I highlighted, which was profitable year, Tesla stocks, and former worker for racial discrimination, and billions in government. So the main key phrases here were actually still in relation to Build Back Better. The profitable year was relating to Paul Krugman's tweet wherein Elon made a killing in 2020, but how come that now that he's making a profit, he is against the incentives that was promised by Build Back Better? Then for Tesla stock here, people, especially stock enthusiasts, were pointing out that maybe because of the Build Back Better's acts passing, there would be a massive sell-off of Tesla stock here. And for former worker for racial discrimination, this was sort of its own topic and not really in regards to the Build Back Better narrative that we've been seeing, but this is just about a lawsuit that Elon Musk lost because there was a hostile working environment among two Black employees, and Elon Musk actually lost that lawsuit, and I think he believed he had to pay around $100 million. And here again, for billions in government subsidies, is just talking about the subsidies Elon Musk and Tesla received when the company was starting out.
So sino yung kasi pinakita mo dito si Paul Krugman. Sana napakita mo lahat kung sinong nagsabi nitong mga ito.
Oh, okay.
O sino nag-initiate ng
I
conversation.
actually just added the 2 notable keywords and 2 sample tweets here, but okay.
Para lang kasi importante yung who eh. Importante yung who eh. Kasi si Paul Krugman, I mean that's Paul Krugman, Nobel economy prize winning economist, no? I mean, sino yung nagsabi nung iba rin, nung worker for racial discrimination? Sino yung you get it? Okay, so sobrang importante talaga ng who, no? Kasi ang kwentuhan diyan later on. So sino kaya nagsabi nun? At bakit? Kasi ang tanong diyan is ano yung motivation ng nagsabi? No? At bakit kumalat yung tweet? So importante parati sana kung sino yung nagsabi. So sana meron tayong at something dyan or at. Pagtulungan nyo na lang, Carlo, kasi ang ganda naman ng ginawa ni Isaiah. Yun lang, sana habulin nyo lang para maganda yung kwentuhan pagka nasa slide na tayo na ito or kung ano mang slide yun.
Yeah. Okay. Sige, we can add those details for sure.
Kasi gusto natin machismis eh, no? Tapos maraming pagkikwentuhan. So ang chismis kasi, 'di ba, yung katulad ng in any good journalism, you answer the who, what, when, where, how, and why. No? And why probably being the most important, but who and how are also really important.
Right.
How did that happen, and like who's involved, who spoke about it?
What is notable to me here, and maybe I say I take note of this, and then maybe I can just sort of edit it later on, is that it sounds like a lot of these top key phrases are from posts that are critical of Elon Musk. That's what it
Yeah.
looks like to me. Profitable year, and yet he opposes Build Back Better.
Yeah.
Tesla stock, maybe that's sort of like a positive or a neutral. Former worker for racial discrimination is definitely against Tesla. Billions in government subsidies is definitely against Tesla. Emerald Mine refers to his father. Privileged rich kid, rigged tax code. So it sounds like a lot of the top keywords are actually very critical of Tesla, and that's an interesting sort of dichotomy with the number of posts and engagement. Kasi parang there is a bit of disconnect there. So it might be interesting to point it out lang dito.
Well, actually, sana kung kaya pa natin, but again, let's not push it. Kasi sana na ma-push natin yung meron ka nang ginawang doon, Carlo eh. Meron ka nang ginawang anong tawag dito? Dichotomy doon eh. Yung for and against. May tawag ka doon. Ano ba nga ba yung tawag mo doon?
Yeah, yung detractors and promoters.
Oo, detractors and promoters. No? So, maganda kasi kung meron tayong ganong chart na yung that is the tide turning for promoters, or is the tide turning for detractors, no? So
yeah,
or baka naman hindi siya promoters and detractors as much as promoter ito ng more equitable distribution of wealth, and si Elon Musk promoter siya ng kind of libertarian driven philosophy where if you're smarter, then you deserve all the money that you have, and the stupid people deserve nothing, right? So parang
Right.
ganun.
Yeah, so I do have a chart that is going to look like a quadrant, and then it will have the most engaging people who are espousing these different narratives there. And then it will also be color coded according to the theme that we were talking about. So
Yes.
I am going to build that, pero I just really need to review all of the slides from the team. Although I do have the template na, it's just that ilalagay ko na lang yung mga...
Ganda nun.
Yeah.
Tapos rin sana yung ang sa akin ang lead in dito is yung yung balance of yung parang balance of power in terms of who is gaining, 'di ba? Kasi ang tingin ko lang dito merong the tides turn depending on the context So for instance, ang isang kinatatakutan ni Elon Musk sa mga billionaires dahil nga they expect a Fed rate increase this March, and probably 5 or 6 more rate increases for the rest of the year. All of a sudden their stocks will feel like shit, right? So so a lot of them are banking on what the US government is doing in Ukraine, how all of a sudden sinara ng US government yung spigot dun sa pera ng Russia, and therefore useless na yung Russian stocks. That will drive even more investment to American companies, by the way. No, so yung ganun, how does that affect the balance of power in terms of those narratives? No, so and I suppose meron naman tayo napag-isipan niyo na ba yon yung parang dalawang ganun na
Yeah, so yung part na sinasabi ko kanina, along the, maybe I'll show the template later, after the team shows their slides. But I have the x-axis, yung horizontal. Parang it's going from opponent to detractor to neutral to promoter to ally, I think is the one I use. So that's sort of the spectrum of where the people are in relation to Tesla. And then the y-axis is just the number of engagements or interactions that each of these influential people and their narratives was able to get. So that's the way I was thinking of presenting it.
Napakaganda nun. And kaya natin pa, I mean, hindi naman for tomorrow, pero kaya ba nating i-time series yan para makita natin kung ano yung, when do the tides change? I'll cite lang the fact na, sorry, go ahead.
We can do time series for, let's say, Paul Krugman, kasi we know na this is the narrative he is espousing. So we can create a timeline for him, as well as timelines for people who are espousing maybe counter narratives to that.
Ganda
so
nun.
That's what we could do.
Ang ganda lang nun kasi as someone who works for Tesla or as someone who works for Elizabeth Warren or the US Senate or si Kamala Harris o kung sino man, interesado ka na kung, teka, yung narrative ba natin ang lumalawang na o yung narrative natin bugbog na bugbog pa rin. Tapos, by the way, those narratives are not just, don't just depend on the strength of who's talking about them. It depends on context as well. So pagka naghihirap na yung mga stocks na katulad ng Tesla at hindi na sila umaangat dahil yung economy ng US hindi na nasusuportahan ng trillions in printed money, magta-turn yung tide definitely. No, pero ang tanong ngayon is saan pupunta yung tide na yon? No, kasi malamang pupunta yung tide na yon sa mga katulad sa populist demagogues katulad ni Donald Trump. Kasi maghahanap ng solusyon yung tao Ang solusyon ng tao ngayon, lalo na yung mga white male na 18 to 24-year-olds, ang solusyon nila ngayon is si Jesus Elon Musk di ba? Christ, right? Because they like his memes and when they invest in meme stocks, sila yung kumbaga guiding light niya. Pero ang tanong ngayon, paano pag nag times change? No, sino na yung magiging guiding light ng mga tao? Doon na papasok yung mga populist demagogues. Yun actually yung medyo scary. At yun yung isang magandang medyo nakikita natin. It all starts with looking at which narratives actually follow the ebb and flow of these so-called tides. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And then just to speak on that as well. I think the time series analysis that I showed earlier, that sort of answers the question about whether these narratives, for example, of Paul Krugman are sustained or not, and it appears that they are not. The reason why here on this particular slide, mas mataas yung score ng mga phrases that are actually from tweets that are against Tesla is because the tweets that are in support of Tesla use much more common words and phrases. And therefore, when you compare it with the reference corpus, mas mababa yung score nila. Mas mababa yung keyword score. So what the value of this slide here and of the text analysis that follows is that even if these are not the dominant narratives, let's say promoting Tesla, which is the general trend that we've seen, we can see here the anchoring, the concepts and the arguments that anchor the narratives that might be opposed to Tesla. So that's why it's very important to look at these things here as well. Even if we've seen already from the time series na parang medyo pro Elon Musk talaga, general yung mga tao.
Tama. I mean, and are you saying for both sides then? Whether you are, let's say, the comms manager for Tesla or whether you are the comms manager for the US senators, the progressive US senators. Parang yun lang sana. So sana yung report natin, doesn't really lean so much on one side or the other as much as can be very helpful for both sides.
Yeah. And ano naman, we're always guided by the data. So whatever comes up and scores very highly, that's probably what we want to look at.
Okay. Galing. Thank you, Isaiah.
I'll move on to the keyword and key term analysis. So for here, starting again with employee relations and executives. Here, the way I chose the keywords here was I first and foremost got the top scoring ones, so here. But I also factored in what sort of they mean in terms of their use case. And the way I did that was I actually referenced the tweets I already saw, and I thought back to how they were used. And for here, what I saw was that again, for former worker for racial discrimination, this was again about the lawsuit that Elon Musk lost to his two black employees because of a hostile working environment. And for here, it's just again about the possibility of Elon Musk dumping Tesla stock, and Tesla stock again same thing with there. Then for this is just about the subsidies he received and it's also in relation to Build Back Better. So yeah.
Ang sa akin lang dito, parang hindi na very useful para sa akin yung top keywords.
Okay.
Kasi parang, I mean, Elon, ano ba to, RT?
Yeah, RT is just for retweet.
Oh, so Tesla, Dogecoin, Neuralink, SpaceX, parang hindi na siya. So ang sa akin, ano pa yung yung top key phrases sa akin okay siya, no? So in fact, sa akin mas importante pa kung okay to, tapos kung meron pang collocation later, tsaka meron pang keyword pairs, doon siya papunta. Pero yung top keywords, parang I don't get it.
I'm a bit divided on this myself. Kasi on the one hand, definitely the key phrases, just by looking at it, immediately you can see that it offers a lot richer insights. But on the other hand, if you look down the list of the top keywords, you will see concepts that don't appear in the key phrases, including hamster coin, for example,
Right.
hamster swap. So that's why I'm not sure, although we were considering taking out yung top keywords for those reasons that you just said. Or Neuralink. So Neuralink didn't appear anywhere here in the top key phrases.
Yeah, no, you're right. Tama naman.
Yeah.
Pero sana lang after nito, no, tama naman. Dalawa lang, a couple of comments, right? So, first of all, in a study about what Elon Musk is saying, I think a key stop word is Elon Musk. So
That's true. Yeah.
So yun lang. Kasi obviously, he will be mentioned the most. The other thing here is sana mahabol natin na kung ano yung modifiers nitong top keywords na ito. ano yung top modifiers ng Tesla, for instance? Ano yung top
Yun,
modifiers ng Neuralink?
We did the one for Tesla. So yun yung available na.
Yun. So, yun lang sa later in the latter slides, no? So kasi yes, obviously alam natin na hamster coin, pero ano yung kwento diyan? Yun lang yung sa akin, yun lang yung ano siguro yung hindi ako masyadong nabubusog dito sa top keywords kasi parang masasagot siya nung subsequent slides that link the keywords to their modifiers, the important
Right.
modifiers.
Right. Yeah. Tama.
So,
Sige, Isaiah,
Um,
please carry on.
okay. So I just wanted to also point out, and actually something that you guys already probably noticed and talked about earlier is that the keywords, the key phrases here are actually also still pretty critical and negative of Elon Musk, which is sort of supported by the time series slide that I showed you earlier, which is more negative towards Elon, especially in regards to his comments on the Build Back Better Act as well. And so yeah, moving on from that is the price, sales, and customers. And for this, people are actually this was overall a positive engagement towards Elon Musk because people were just excited and happy about the fact that they can now buy their Tesla Model S's, their Tesla cars, their Tesla merch with Dogecoin. So that again spurred interest and enthusiast in crypto as well, and also put Elon again in a very positive light towards crypto enthusiasts as well.
Okay. Yeah. Would you mind going back one slide?
Okay.
I see. Sorry. Ano to? Nakalagay dito, text analysis, price, sales, and customers. This is a theme, right?
No, sorry,
Yeah.
that still has to be changed.
This
Okay,
this
so
is
that's
the,
confusing.
Yeah, this is the climate change and fuel economy theme. Tama ba, Isaiah? Or what is this theme again?
This is employee relations and executives.
Oh, employee relations. So the reason why
Okay.
it's not reflected up there is inayos pa namin yung slide templates based on yung ginawa ni Marco
Agree.
before. So we need to parang have a template slide for each of the themes. Pero matatapos rin yan by
Yeah.
tomorrow for sure. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and key part yan na i-emphasize natin dun sa methodology. Tama ba, Carlo? Kasi nakakalito at this point kung anong theme na
Yeah.
yung
What
tinatukoy
theme?
natin.
So
So,
maybe
kasi sana color-coded rin yung themes. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, if anyone on the team, I tried to correct as much as I could from the slides I already have. But if anyone else will be showing slides, hindi tama yung label ng theme sa taas, please start na lang by just saying what theme we are looking at. Yeah. Okay, please go ahead. Oh, another thing din pala, Isaiah.
Yeah.
Yung sinabi ni Doy kanina, please also include comma separators for the numbers here on the
Okay.
chart. So that yung ano lang naman yan number format. And then also 2 decimal places lang tayo. It's just a little neater.
Okay. Well done.
Yeah. Agree.
All right. So moving on to the next theme, which is price, sales, and customers. And wait, I already discussed this. Sorry. So yeah. Again, just generally people extremely excited and happy about Elon Musk's acceptance of Dogecoin. From that, unless you have comments, Doy?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I think you're on the right track. Sana maano lang maano niyo lang. You just keep working on it until tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. So moving on is the production and manufacturing here. People were again, especially Twitter users. Twitter users were generally positive towards Elon Musk. There was just a general excitement and positive excitement regarding his products, especially the CyberQuad, the Tesla Semi, and this is what I mentioned earlier, the law of cost control, which was sort of highlighted in Tesla China's video, which showed off their manufacturing process. As well.
Carlo, kasi for instance, ang tatanong niyan bukas is, ano yung CyberQuad?
Oh.
Ano yung Tesla Semi? No, obviously alam natin kung ano yung Tesla Semi. Hindi ko maintindihan kung ano yung CyberQuad. No?
Okay,
So sana may description instead of itong itong production in 2022, check out alam ko naman na nagaling yan sa sa Twitter. Yun lang kasi hindi siya meaningful eh. So sana mas meaningful yung linalagay natin diyan. I know this is an excerpt, no? Where that contains the word. Pero sana mas meaningful sana yung linalagay natin diyan. Even a description of what the CyberQuad is, na narrative na lang natin is better eh.
Pwede. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
So
just
maybe, and so this goes for the whole team. Maybe instead of just the concordance there, you can replace it na lang with just a very short description of how that phrase or word was used in the text. Kasi here, tama naman si Doyen na if you just use concordance, sometimes it's not very clear lang what they're talking about. And if there's something that you feel the people we're presenting to might not know, like CyberQuad, then you can also include an explanation of what it is. So please take note na lang.
Sure. So okay, I'll just explain it really quickly what the CyberQuad is. Actually, that's a toy car for kids that has a really long range, which people were oddly happy about. They were excited for their kids to go wherever they want. So yeah. Okay, moving on. This is actually going to be my final slide, and here again is where more of the people who support Elon Musk and detract from.
What theme is this na ngayon?
Oh, sorry. This is the fuel economy and climate change theme, and this is and here from the key phrases and keywords, this is actually a lot more. This is where you can see a bit more polarity as well, because of again going to the time series we saw earlier. People were sort of mixed or divided in terms of Build Back Better and Elon Musk's comments on it. So here, profitable year, that was used by Paul Krugman. Whole bill was in relation to that was in relation to a tweet by David Turner, I believe, where he said that people who can afford the tax cut, the tax credit that Tesla will get when purchasing, don't really need that money, and it's
Because
not.
they're rich already.
Yes, exactly. So
And
then here,
also,
infrastructure
in
bill.
addition to that, it says here, sabi ni Elon Musk, I would just scan this whole bill.
Yeah.
So that's kind of definitive about, what his opinion is on Build Back Better.
And also here, I didn't highlight it because it didn't actually show up as one of the top key phrases, but this one, country with illegal workers, that we essentially said that the Build Back Better Act just incentivizes illegal immigrants to go to the US and basically leech off their social welfare system. So that's one of the narratives. Be my last slide. Yeah, thank you.
Ang sa akin lang, paano ba natin gagawin to? Moving forward, not in this particular study. Kasi ang importante dito, lalo na if it's a study involving Tesla, Elon Musk, and trillions, dapat ang consideration natin dito is that Tesla, Elon Musk, probably those two words, ang hahanapin na lang natin doon sa two words na yon would be their modifiers. and the other subjects and objects that are associated with those two words. Pero sana hindi na natin binibilang yung mentions ng dalawang words na yun. Kasi I feel that that's superfluous. Eh. Tama ba?
Yeah, that's why we actually do not show the actual count. Kasi that's sort of meaningless. The frequency where at which these words and phrases were used. The much more meaningful metric would be the score, just because it's relative to the reference corpus, which is huge, yung English web corpus. And so this tells us na compared to that web corpus, profitable year was just a lot more frequently, it came up a lot more frequently in the Tesla discussion. So I think that's a lot more meaningful than saying profitable year was mentioned 5,000 times. The keyword score is actually more important.
Yung sa akin lang kasi because we want the slides nga to be kind of rich with insightful data. Sana tanggalin na natin yung hindi masyadong insightful, like kung may mention ni Elon dito, I suppose sa akin ano yun, parang medyo bakit pa, no? When actually
of course he would be mentioned, ganun
of course he would be mentioned,
Yeah.
pero sana instead of Elon, ano yung specific na issue about Elon? Di ba? So ito nakalagay dito cryptocurrencies, parang ganun, or whatever else, no? So that is related to Elon or Tesla. Kasi parang yun nga, parang superfluous na this is a study about Elon and Tesla, tapos obviously those two words will be on top of almost everything.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe just change na lang yung Elon. Isaiah, and that goes for everyone then for this text analysis slide. Maybe let's just not use Elon or Musk or Tesla.
Okay.
TSLA is different though, because TSLA is the stock listing of Tesla. So if it's TSLA, you can include it.
Tapos ano ba ito? I understand that these are parang word collocates. Kasi ang keywords lang naman natin would be the like Tesla and Elon, etc. Right? So these are algorithmically generated collocates, or are these specific keywords na in-input natin?
No, well, we didn't input these. The algorithm determined na, we had no idea that these would come out. So it's all algorithm, basically.
Okay.
We just fed it the text and then it gave us this.
Okay, excellent. That's really good. So pwedeng we can treat Elon and Tesla as top words na pwedeng na hindi na natin kasi it will change dramatically your chart and the slope of your chart kung wala itong dalawang ito. Ilang isang comment ko pa.
Yeah, it would change, but I say, and for everyone else then, if you simply delete the Elon row in Excel and then maybe include another row on the bottom, let's try to adjust.
Okay.
Pwedeng ganun na lang just to save a bit of time instead of running the analysis again on Sketch Engine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is actually my
PR
last.
lang ako. Please continue.
This is actually.
I'll be a unit. Yeah.
Okay. This is my last slide. So we will actually continue presenting the rest of Twitter.
Thank you, Isaiah. Really good.
Thanks as well, Bye.
So, good afternoon. So, yung sa stakeholder mapping naman, wait lang. So, yari. Nakahide. So for stakeholder mapping, so ito yung sa largest social cluster tree map. Nagawa ko na siya. Tapos dito sa right side, yung mga influential actors in terms of authority. Tapos per cluster yan. So yung top actor sa biggest cluster, which is cluster 0, is si Sawyer Merritt. Tapos nakalagay yung interactions niya.
Choi, sorry. In terms of labeling lang, ile-label natin ito, ano? Tama ba? Cluster 0, cluster 24, cluster 26.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just make sure na label tayo kasi again, we want to be meaningful. Kung cluster 0, cluster 24, hindi rin maintindihan ng audience natin.
Yes. Pero for now, para consistent dun sa lahat ng reference is yung mga cluster 0, 24, 23, 26, and so on. So,
What do you mean by for now?
kasi yung para ma-identify kung aling cluster yung ginamit dito. So in reference, ang ginamit ko muna is itong mga cluster, yung mga modularity values nila. Yun yung muna yung ginamit kong names ng mga clusters nila.
Sige, so pero paano ano ang naming convention natin dito? Or ano ang naming process natin or dynamic?
Yung suggestion ko dyan, take a look at kung sino yung nasa cluster na yun, Choi. Sino yung influential. Kasi for example, itong cluster 0, basically these are people who are engaging with Sawyer Merritt.
Sawyer Merritt.
So you could just create a brief descriptor for that. Tapos yun yung pwedeng maging label mo. And then in the succeeding slides, definitely you'll also include yung cluster number. But you can also include yung short descriptor na yun, yung label.
Okay.
Yeah, or you might have a cluster na puro K-pop fans. So, label mo sila na K-pop fans talking about Tesla. Yung mga ganun lang.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for now, wala pa silang mga pangalan. So ganyan lang muna. Tapos dito sa part na to, since I was working in reverse kanina, yung sa left pane, hindi ko pa nababago yung text. Pero ang gagawin ko dito sa left pane, yung discussions dito magre-revolve dun sa most engaged tweets ng mga top actors. Tapos short description nung kung ano man yung meron sa slide. Kasi for example, sa mga succeeding slides, yung mga network maps, yung sa mga boxes dito sa lower left, it's kinda technical, full of jargons. So ang ginawa ko, naglagay din ako ng parang more layman descriptions dito para mas ma-interpret kung ano yung sinasabi ng graph na nasa slide. So,
yeah, tama.
Ayun.
So you also do a slideshow para lang mas malaki yung slide.
Ayan. So, for this one, yung most active, yung sa last time, yung naging comment is gawing line graph yung interest score dito sa most well-connected actors sa lower right. So, ayun, ginawa ko siya. Tapos yung metrics niya nandito sa right, nasa right side, yung axis sa right side, yung interest score. Tapos sa left side is yung metrics ng influence and activity since magkaiba sila ng range. So, ayan. Tapos, discussions. Tapos, ayun, yung sa social clusters, paano ko kaya i-label yung dito? Since masyadong cramped yung space, tapos 62 clusters sila.
Baka na lang, actually, baka list na lang. Maybe 5 to 10 social clusters para lang isama mo yung label.
Okay. So, ayun yung gagawin
Then
ko.
you also need to present information compared to the slide with the screen. So maybe you could include, I don't know, sample post, possibly.
Okay.
Kasi this column chart here, thinking about it now, I know ako naman yung naglagay niyo originally. Just thinking about it now, it shows the same data as the tree map. So pwedeng, baka list na nga lang. Yan. Yun lang. Suggestion lang.
So, ayun. So, yung sa top actors, mapapansin dito na consistent na palaging top actor si Sawyer Merritt tsaka si Holmars Vlog in different metrics. So, ma-mention ko siya sa next slide. Kasi, ayun, they belong to an cluster na well-connected tsaka yung mga other actors ng clusters na yun is matataas din yung influence scores nila. Kaya sila rin mataas yung yung influence nila. So ito yung ego network ni Sawyer Merritt, which is yung actor na may pinakamataas na authority score sa lahat. Tapos minap lang yung ego network niya, yung immediate interactions niya dun sa mga ibang actors. Tapos yung relative sizes ng mga nodes correlates dun sa influence scores nila. Tapos yung colors, ayan yung yung social cluster where they belong. So I think gawang ko na lang siguro ng legend, parang legend ng colors ng social clusters para consistent na ma-identify sa mga slides kung anong cluster yon.
Good idea.
Good idea. Yep. Good idea.
So ayun, tapos nakalagay dito yung metrics ni Sawyer Merritt dito sa dialog box na to. Tapos ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na aside from short discussion dun sa top tweet ni Sawyer Merritt, in-explain ko in a more layman term kung anong meron dito sa graph na to, kung paano siya i-interpret. Aside from dito sa aside dito sa explanation sa lower left dialog box na mas technical.
Okay, so ganito. Guys, for everyone, we don't interpret this as so the way we interpret it and the way we create the narrative should be data driven based on the data. So instead of saying the graph shows the ego network of the top authority Sawyer Merritt, we say that we saw that Sawyer Merritt by and large by 3x dominated the conversation and therefore an articulation of his ego network deserves deserves some articulation, right? So in this particular chart we see that there are three particular hubs in the ego network that are that provide some interest. Tapos isa-isahin mo yan, tapos sasabihin mo kung bakit sila interesting. We don't explain it in terms of what is the process behind it or what is the science behind it. We explain it in terms of the specific importance of the data set that we are showing. Does that make sense? Mahihirapan sila Choy, mahihirapan sila Isaiah dito. Ikaw ang aasahan ko yan. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Hindi madali yun. Kasi kailangan medyo babad ka talaga. You've been doing this for 1 week, completely understandable. But you need to take a journey where you're able to explain the data set and the nuances in the data set instead of explaining that this is why, this is how it works. Because the client doesn't need that. That is data that is defined totally unnecessary and unnecessary to their agenda. Ang tanong nila dito is sino si Sawyer Merritt? Sino yung key actor sa network ni Sawyer Merritt? At bakit at ano yung sinasabi niya at bakit importante ito? And bakit natin kailangan aksyonan ito?
Okay. So,
Yeah. Yep.
ayun. Tapos yung sa yung ibang mga significant actors dito, nilagyan ko rin ng mga snippets ng top tweets nila in terms of engagements para lang ma-populate yung slide. So,
That's good. General comment then on formatting. Let's not use yung
Justify. Yeah.
Let's do center. Let's do left. Let's do left. Just to keep it
Yeah,
clear.
lahat tayo slash left hand. We never justify because justify presents so many problems. If you take a look itong itong words na pages with high authority score, that's what happens when you justify, no? So yung orphaned words, they get spread out, which is the worst thing you can ever read.
okay.
Yeah, please continue.
So, ito for fast influencers. Ito sa left, nagawan ko na ng discussion dito. So, basically, sinabi ko lang na consistent si Hallmar's Vlog tsaka si Sawyer Merritt as top actors in this metric compared na inline dun sa pagiging consistent din nila dun sa mga naging previous metrics sa previous slides. Tapos dito, sinabi ko na si Hallmar's Vlog, yung most engaged tweet niya is yung about dun sa article na nagsasabing si Elon Musk, sinel niya yung 10% stake niya sa Tesla. Tapos based dun sa data, meron yung 5,980 total engagement, which is kaya yun yung naging most engaged tweet ni Hallmar's Vlog. Tsaka dito pala, ang ginawa ko dito, ang kinonsider ko lang dito is yung mga original tweets ng mga actors. Kasi merong yung mga retweets nila, napansin ko. For example, si Hallmar's Vlog, ni-retweet niya yung tweet ni Sawyer Merritt. So yung engagement ng tweet ni Sawyer Merritt na ni-retweet ni Hallmar's Vlog, maka-count din sa kanya. Kaya kapag tinotal ko yung engagement ni Hallmar's Vlog, parang artificially padded dahil dun sa naging dahil dun sa naging retweet niya kay Sawyer Merritt. Kaya ang ginawa ko, ang kinonsider ko lang is yung mga original tweets nila para yung engagements doon talagang sa kanila lang. Walang mahahalong engagements na from dun sa mga ni-retweets nila. Kasi I think yung mga engagement ng mga retweets napupunta yun dun sa sa original tweet, hindi dun sa retweet. Kaya based dun sa data na nakita ko, kasi halimbawa, nag-retweet si Hallmar's Vlog tsaka 20 days later ng tweet ni Sawyer Merritt, lalabas dun sa retweets tsaka favorites nila parehas na values. So I think nagre-reflect yun dun sa original tweet ni Sawyer Merritt, pero nadadagdag lang sa list nila since ni-retweet nila yung tweet na yun.
What does that mean? If ni-retweet ni Hallmar's Vlog si Sawyer Merritt, both of them will have +1 degree or engagement, ganda yan. Hello?
Yung engagement ng tweet na ni-retweet nila, maka-count din sa kanila.
Maka-count sa kanila
kahit
parehas.
nag-retweet lang sila. Yes.
Okay.
Kaya I think hindi siya, feeling ko hindi magiging accurate kapag sinama ko yung mga retweets kasi hindi mo ma-determine alin dun sa mga engagements na yun yung galing sa retweet nila versus doon sa original tweet na ni-retweet nila.
From your explanation, it makes sense.
naka-reflect lang is
I'll
parang
take a
yung total
closer look. I mean,
engagement from all the retweets as well.
wala namang problem doon and hindi naman magbabago yung list because of that. So I think it's fine. Yeah.
So, ganun lang yung ginawa ko sa pag-select ng ng mga most engaged tweets nila. So, puro mga original tweets lang nila. So, next, yung change drivers. So, ganun din yung ginawa ko. Tapos dito, last time, ang comment ni Doy is i-limit lang yung minimum number of followers. So, ang sinet ko dito is minimum of 10,000 followers. Pero sabi ni Carlo, dapat daw babaan ko pa ng mga 1,000. Pero dito sa ginawa kong to, minimum of 10,000 followers yung yung in-include ko dun sa mineasure na tie strength. So lahat sila may at least 10,000 followers.
So tie strength meaning marami silang na-influensahan na umaksyon. Dito ba yan?
Mataas yung periodic closure ng communities nila, basically, ng ego networks nila. So, parang it's not just supply chain blog, individually talking to yung communities niya, pero pati yung ibang members ng communities niya nag-uusap-usap din.
Okay.
Similar to a lot of the subreddits. And so, yun yung kay Centola, di ba?
Tama. I'm sorry, ano ba itong platform na tweet ba ito? Twitter ba ito?
Twitter pa rin to.
Twitter,
Twitter
okay.
pa rin to.
Got it.
So,
Yeah, and then yung comment ko lang dun sa 10,000 followers, I think it's fine to retain that for now. Versus sa succeeding report, babaan na lang natin.
okay.
Yeah.
Tapos ang napansin ko pala dito is yung mga most engaged tweets ng mga top change drivers, mga article tweets sila tungkol kay Elon Musk or Tesla. So mas matataas yung engagements ng mga ganong tweets versus dun sa mga originally composed tweets nila. So ayun, sinabi ko yun dito sa left side. Tapos yung overall sentiments din nila is towards Tesla and Elon Musk is positive. Since yung mga nililink din nilang articles, yung mga mostly leaning towards positive rin. For example, tungkol sa Tesla stocks, yung Gigafactory, yung na-mention kanina ni Isaiah na yung sa China, yung may nag-tweet nung sa Tesla China video tungkol dun sa production tsaka manufacturing sophistication dun sa Gigafactory nila. So ayun, isa yun sa mga top tweets dito. So ayun. Tapos ito yung social cluster na second largest kasi yung pinakamalaking social cluster kasama na dun sa Ego Network kanina ni Sawyer Merritt. So parang subset na yun ng Ego Network niya. Kaya ang minap na lang dito is itong second largest na social cluster para ma-feature yung mga ibang set of actors naman. Tapos,
sana ma-introduce nyo ito kasi this is, di ba? Nasaan yung introduction ba natin? Sino si Whole Mars Vlog? At ano ang background niya at ang role niya?
yung madalas siyang nagre-retweet or nag-share ng article tweets tungkol sa Tesla. So, parang
I understand. But baka pwedeng Carlo pangunahan mo na kasi sana meron tayong introduction like Whole Mars Vlog, according to our research was founded in 2014 with by this person. And in the last 4 years, it has been positioning itself as parang someone who advocates that travel to Mars, and has been seen as someone who actually reflects or mirrors the Elon Musk position on several things. Yung ganon, does that make sense?
Yep. Sige. Yeah, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Oo, kasi kailangan ang kwento natin because we're storytellers eh. So ang tanong ngayon, sino ba tong mga to? Na bakit sila importante? Ano yung history nila? No, ano yung kwento nila? No, so importante 'yon. No, kasi kung hindi na tayo pupunta doon, it becomes yung meaningfulness niya nadadilute ng husto at yung storya hindi nabubuo.
So in earlier slides, yung mga list of the different kinds of influencers, kasama na rin doon yung Twitter description nila. So earlier on, we had already provided some details on who they are.
Maganda
Although I
yan.
will also definitely add in yung kinento mo doy, yung parang ganong setup. I'll also definitely put that in there.
Yes, because the client will always expect us to be a step ahead. Kasi hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ito kasi yung nasa Twitter description nila eh. No, that won't suffice eh. Ang kailangan may konti tayong kwento kasi importante siya eh. No? So siguro dun sa si Joe X Back, hindi na natin bibigyan ng malaking diskusyon yan. Pero si whole Mars Blog, because we're talking about the whole Mars Blog Ego Network, kailangan makwento natin sino ba yan.
Yep. Sige. I can take the lead on that first. So, then this is for everyone na. I'll do finalizing. So, please take note of all of the builds na lang. Try to make it as clean and as substantial as you can, but I'll finalize it. So, ganun na lang siya. And then, please, yung request ko earlier, na yung parang notable narratives na that you feel warrant inclusion dun sa tips or tats in yung mga ganun. Nagawa ni Sof eh. So if you could provide that to me, that would also be super helpful. So remind me.
Tulungan niyo lang si Carlo kasi medyo crunch time tayo eh. We really wanting to focus on like the parang the aggregation, the insight slides. So itong mga to, siguro bigyan niyo lang ng pansin, no. You know, guys, you know, as people who do the research and report the research, we really need to see ourselves as storytellers. And ang tanong parati natin, buo ba yung storya? At ano pa yung kailangan kong hanapin para mabuo yung storya, no? Kasi kung hindi buo yung storya, hindi masyadong magiging valuable yung report, no? Ngayon, meron naman obviously limitations yung pagkabuo ng storya. Pero that's why we're pointing you to some of the stuff that are more important than others, no? Yung kwento ng who whole Mars Blog is and who the previous person is and kung ano sila, tech insider yung mga yon, importante yon kasi these are actors in your play, eh. Diba? These are the actors in your movie. So dapat klaro yung backstory nila para maintindihan ng kliyente yung motivation din nila.
Yeah. Sige, Chuy, please carry on.
Thanks, Chuy.
So, ayun, yung mga feature ko dito, top most engaged tweets. So, una, yung kay Whole Mars Blog, since siya yung central actor dito sa cluster na to. So, ito yung tungkol sa, I mean, hindi pala siya cyberquad ng Tesla. So, yung nilaunch yung cyberquad Tesla. Tapos, tinweet niya. Tapos, yan yung may pinaka most engaged niyang tweet. Pero at the same time, meron din siyang tweet na sinasabi niya na yun nga yung si Elon Musk daw na-sold na niya yung stocks niya na 10%. Tapos hindi ko kasi mahanap to dun sa Twitter. So most likely dinelete na niya. Kaya kinwote ko na lang dito from the data. Tapos yung sa next naman is yung kay 28 days later, since siya yung next most influential dito. So ito yung naging most engaged tweet niya. So parang ninanarrate niya yung sentiments ng mga detractors ng Tesla. So ayan, tapos ito namang isa, yung kay Tesla Owners SB. Ito yung most engaged tweet dito sa social cluster na to. So kahit hindi hindi kasing influential ni Tesla Owners SB si Hallmark's Vlog tsaka 28 days later, yung tweet niya may pinakamaraming naging engagement. So,
Pero
finishare ko rin.
nasaan yung tweet ni 28 days later? Parang wala akong makita dito.
Etong nasa baba.
Ito. Si Earl of Frank Puppy. At 28 days later. There you go. You're right.
So,
Critics
ayun.
of
Tapos
Tesla.
yung sa ano pala.
Oh.
Sorry. Yung sa mga profiles pala kanina dito. Okay. Ayun. Ito, yung sa mga ganito. Ang ginamit ko is yung Twitter handle sila kasi yung original dito is yung Twitter names nila. Pero may mga iba kasing actors na sobrang haba nung names nila tas puro emoji. So, ang hirap pagkasyahin kaya ginawa ko na lang Twitter handle. So, lahat ng kapag tuwing may mention doon sa actor sa any part dito sa slides na to, puro Twitter handle yung ginagamit ko instead na yung Twitter names nila.
That's right. Tama yun.
So, tapos dito naman, ang ginamit ko ditong network map para sa densest social cluster is yung third densest. Kasi yung first and second densest social cluster is yung cluster din ni Hallmark's Vlog tsaka ni Sawyer Merritt. So parang mauulit lang. Kaya ang ginamit ko naman is itong third densest, which is yung cluster 26 na ang top actor ay si Gary Black. So,
Yung
yung
is
mga
hedge fund manager, tama ba?
Yeah.
yeah, I
hedge
think
fund
so. Tapos
It's the founder of Future Fund.
ito yung naging most engaged tweet niya, yung tweet niya tungkol sa article sa EV demand ng Tesla. Tapos ang caption niya is positive yung sentiments niya tungkol doon. Sabi niya, yung demand daw ng Tesla and EVs in general ay mas mataas compared dun sa mga ICE or yung mga traditional cars. Tapos nung tinignan ko tong tweet na to, nakita ko yung mga replies. Yung mga top replies are mostly negatives. So yung mga top replies, mga detractors. Tapos ang sentiments nila is, ayun nga, mataas yung ownership cost kahit gustuhin nilang i-adapt yung Tesla. Tapos yung iba naman, sabi nila, yung mga high-tech features daw ng Tesla ay mostly gimmicks lang. Tapos, tsaka yung iba naman, ayaw lang nila ng Tesla kasi ayaw nila kay Elon Musk. So, ayun. Kaya, ayaw
Pero
nila.
i-illustrate ko lang ha. Sana makita natin yung what's the balance here. Kasi kailangan maintindihan natin kung, sige, may comment na ganito pero marami pang nag-recirculate yan. So much so na talagang yung detractors ang nananalo. Yung and sana meron tayong counting ganun later on. Not for all the topics, pero importante lang kasi na we need to quantify as much as
Okay. So yung mga iba ditong quoted tweets, so sila rin yung mga top tweets ng mga important actors dito sa cluster na to. So since hindi ko sila mahanap sa Twitter, kinwote ko na lang din. So probably mga deleted tweets na to. So ayun yung naging discussion dun sa top tweet ni Gary Black, sinamarize ko dito sa left side. Tapos, ayun, kinapi-paste ko lang kanina yung explanation dito sa graph, sa network map na to. Tapos, yun lang so far.
Kaya ba nating, sino pa ba? Kaya ba nating maabot to? Kaya mo ba, Carlo? Mahirapan ka.
Kaya, kasi the team did a lot of pretty substantial work. So, kaya siya.
Sige. So, kaya natin by mga 3:00 bukas? Kasi sana ma-review din natin kahit tayong tatlo lang nila Rachel or ano.
I think so, yeah. I think that's realistic.
Sige.
So, yung next ay yung Facebook social media kay Rachel and Meg.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Hey, Rach. Hi, Meg.
It's me, Meg. So,
Kaya lang
Let's
ulit
start.
ako, but
Ako rin mag-CCR na rin ako, Meg, ha? Sandali lang.
okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Magkaboses ba tayo, Meg?
Sabi nila.
Parang may kinapapagkawala. Ay. Sige.
Buhay pa ba kayo, guys? Charot.
Sige na. Alam niyo.
Actually, oo nga, magkaboses kayo.
Talaga.
Ngayon ko na napansin.
Alam niyo yung gagawin ko after this call kasi ang daming comments eh. Kumbaga, kada meeting natin, laging may bagong comment, laging may bagong action item.
May bagong dagdag, yeah.
So, kapag papakinggan lang natin, hindi natin maalala lahat. Gawin ko after this call, kay Carlo yung recording, ita-transcribe ko ulit para lang wala tayong ma-miss na comment. And as I do that, meron isa akong set of slides na kailangan din trabahuhin. Kasi aside from the Tesla report, meron ding intro slides na this is the team, this is the company, these are our normal reports, these are the data sets we handle. So I need to take care of that also. So when it comes to the annotations for my part, I would need help. Pero mabilis lang siya. Yun lang yung top keywords tsaka key phrases. Yung discussion lang. Kasi yung mga concordance tsaka yung tables, ako na lang yung gagawa. Pero sa annotations, patulong na lang, guys. Bale, ang need na matapos ko ngayon is yung transcript na. Para
Okay, Meg.
attend lahat ng update.
Rachel, may
happening?
meeting pa kayo
Nawala
bukas.
ba si Meg?
Bukas, baka wala na. Kasi lahat ng oras bukas ibubuhos na dito eh.
Nice.
Yeah.
What happened?
Wala, Carlo.
Wala ba?
Ano lang. Pareha sila ng boses. Yun lang.
Sabi ko Carlo, ang gagawin ko after nito, hingin ko sa yung recording. Tapos ito-transcribe ko ulit yung important comments para wala tayong ma-miss. Kasi ang daming comments eh. Ang daming comments and bagong action item. Para lang hindi natin makalimutan. And ita-try kong isend yon tonight. Para meron tayong reference on what else we need to.
So yeah, that would be very helpful, and thanks for stepping up again.
Sabi ko na lang team naman I know marami rin sing ginagawa. Pero di ba kasi also need work slides for the intro part, yung showcasing the reports we offer now, sino yung clients natin, what data do we work with, papatulong na lang din ako sa kanila.
Yeah, actually, yung suggestion ko pala dyan, I'm not sure if we have updated credentials decks. So a creds deck kasi is something that the new biz team presents to prospects. And usually they have discussions there on notable clients and projects. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking for that part of the presentation, maybe we can just reuse something that they have.
Yeah, pero
And then, Oo.
you would still need to have slides na specific sa reports eh. Yung,
Yeah,
yun nga.
so that's the other thing eh. So, kasi yung suggestion ni Doy, we start by talking about what we're doing muna outside of reports. So parang our general work in PR and digital marketing. So I think the creds deck would help there if they have an updated one. And then after that,
Okay.
we talk about what we're doing in reports. And then ito na.
Okay, got it.
Hey, oy guys, may beer dito sa office tsaka chips.
Ah.
So, sana sumipot kayo bukas. Bili tayo ulit. Nagpabili yung accounts eh. Dito sila ngayon. Bukas tayo kayo. Nakalasing tayo by the time mag-present tayo sa gabi.
Hi everyone.
Ay, may-
I'll start na with the Facebook times coverage drivers. So ito yung section divider na ginawa ni Carlo. Nalagyan naman na to ng annotations pero I updated yung total numbers. So ito na yung numbers from the dataset talaga. And ayan. Major changes sa slides that I worked on, I incorporated yung mga recommendations from the previous call. So, ito ulit yung total number and then I added a donut chart visualizing yung percentage of interactions for every theme. So, this one is color-coded na siya to match the line chart. Pero meron naman na din siyang legend dito sa baba.
Oh my God, napakaganda nito. Does this work for the other platforms?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
Ito
it would
kasing,
work.
yung interactions kasi for Facebook is reactions, comments, and shares. So, I just added all that and then ginawa ko siyang donut chart.
So the difference here is this is only interactions eh. So maybe I say what you can do na lang is to just use something like this instead of showing the proportion of posts to interactions. It's the proportion of interactions among the different teams. Baka ganun na lang tayo.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that means that there's one slide basically giving a summary of all the different themes in one slide, right? It doesn't work for just one theme. Kasi ang magiging donut mo for one theme, it would be the narratives for that particular theme. And I don't know if you can pull that out at this point, but it would be great if you did at some point.
Yeah, at some point, we'll probably figure out how we can do that. Feeling ko medyo ano na yan eh. May machine learning involved na dyan eh. Although, you know, we did do work naman on narrative congruence before. I don't know kung nag-free si Doy. That could be another option that we might
So,
want to
I'll
use.
continue.
Yeah.
Nawala si Carlo. Okay.
Wala yung nawala.
So, yung discussion dito sa side na to, I just put there yung highlight, yung notable na story. I discussed it a bit here. So, yung story na yun ay yung pag-award kay Elon Musk as Person of the Year by Time Magazine. And then, maganda siyang i-discuss kasi it's the post, parang recurring narrative siya na every time na lumilitaw, that's what I mentioned here. So zooming in sa bawat theme, let's start with employee relations and executive. Major change dito is the line chart. Last time kasi same chart lang as this one pero naka-highlight yung specific theme and then naka-gray out yung others. But this time, inedit ko siya to make it consistent with the Reddit and Twitter time series charts din. So, andito yung number of posts and number of total interactions. And what's interesting here, also yung annotations dito sa taas, I edited it to also discuss yung peaks ng level of interactions and not just yung high number of post counts. So, katulad dito sa peak na to, it's malbaba yung post count niya, pero it's merong mataas na level of interaction. And what drove this peak is actually a post by a non-profit or activist organization called the Other 98%, na kinikriticize nila si billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And so,
isn't this so interesting? Sorry ha, Meg, this is just so interesting.
let's go lang.
Mababa yung, kaunti lang yung nag-post, pero ang daming interactions. This is such a high interest topic, right? Versus, even Elon Musk time of the year, person of the year, is both high interest, pero high post din. So I would suspect that this would have a low interaction to post ratio, and this would have itong criticism of capitalism would have a high interaction to post ratio. Tama ba?
Yes.
Which is really interesting, because what we were interested in posts that have high interaction to post ratios.
Yes, that's true. So, kaya maraming engagements dito. There was actually, while doing these annotations, I also skimmed through yung comments section sa Facebook just to give context dun sa post mismo. And then dito, yung comments dito mostly, they're against Elon Musk and other billionaires, na they're saying na kaya lang naman sila successful is because mayaman na yung parents nila in the first place, or it's because they're exploiting workers, ganyan. So, it's mostly negative talaga. And then dito naman, nag-coincide na mataas yung number of posts and mataas din yung level of engagement. And yung news na yun, yung top news na nilagay ko dun sa overview, it's Elon Musk as Person of the Year. And yung engagements dito, yung comments dito, it's a mix of Elon supporters na they're congratulating him for getting this award. And then, on the other hand, meron siyang critics na nagsasabi na hindi naman niya deserve kasi hindi nga siya nagbabayad ng taxes. So, that's for employee relations. Next theme, price, sales, and customers. We can see here na mataas yung number of posts, pero medyo mababa lang yung level of engagements, except for this peak here.
What is that? That's really interesting, because now we see the reverse.
Yeah. So, unahin ko lang muna tong nag-peak na post. It's the Tesla meme na ito, naglagay akong screenshot. It's a kind of analogy na vehicular emission is poisoning us, and then merong quote-unquote cure, which is Tesla electric cars, which don't produce smoke emissions. Pero yung totoong medicine na kailangan natin is public transport. So merong mga discussion sa comments na ang totoong solution naman talaga ay public transport and not electric vehicles. And so going here dito post in a Facebook group called EV Club for Thailand, na may isang person, hindi ko mabasa kasi, ito na. Pangalan niya si Bjorn Nyland, nag-post siya sa EV group on Facebook na nag-purchase siya ng Tesla car. And then yung post niya, it's very technical. Nilalagay niya yung specifics ng car na pinurchase niya in comparison to his other option na car, ganyan. And then nag-spark to ng discussion sa comment section kung saan mga kapwa niya EV enthusiasts. Nag-share ng experiences, nag-share ng specs ng sarili nilang Tesla cars. And marami siya talaga. And most of it, hindi ko masyadong naintindihan because it was very technical. We're talking about batteries ng Tesla car nila, ganyan. And yan yung nag-drive nung peak na yan. Okay. Next, next in production and manufacturing, ganun din, merong mataas na number of posts pero mababa yung level of engagement, and then opposite, mababa yung post pero ang taas na peak for engagements. So yung mataas na number of posts dito, it's an article posted by Bloomberg na sinasabi niyang Tesla is struggling to find raw materials needed sa production ng cars, ng electric cars nila. And then they said here na this puts Tesla in a disadvantage. It's a stark reversal of fortune for Elon. Pero meron din siyang engagements dito na medyo mataas compared to others. And it's because people in the comments were disagreeing na this isn't really a problem for Tesla kasi mayaman, sobrang yaman niya, and it doesn't really put them at a competitive disadvantage.
Sige, Meg, sana lang malagay natin parati kung sino yung, saan nagsimula yung discussion or yung engagement. Sino yung nag-post noon? Kung ito si Bloomberg, itong struggle for raw materials, sino nag-post nitong Gigafactory Texas investment? No, tapos sino? Kasi that matters eh. It matters kung baka kasi in the first place high followership and high engagement yung kanilang page eh.
Alright, sige, I'll add that after this.
And that goes for everyone din, ano? Kailangan talaga kasi yung question of who is so important, because the question of who leads to some answers about why and how. How did they get that much engagement? Oh, because their website, their Facebook page already has 3 million followers.
All right, noted, Doy.
And then for Facebook specifically, you can also note if it's a verified profile or a public group or a page. Okay, I think that would be interesting to see then. Especially in groups. Like, okay, these are the groups that talk about Tesla. Yung ganun.
The question of who, guys, is so important. Sana mabuo natin yung storya dyan.
Okay, sige. I think I did see some verified pages dito na top posters. So itong peak na to, this is about Tesla's 10 billion investment in Gigafactory Texas. So may dog. So kaya mataas yung engagements dito, maraming opinions and arguments from Tesla supporters and critics na yung supporters, syempre sinasabi nila na this would create a lot of jobs for people, and then yung critics naman, kinokontra nila yung supporters na sinasabi na nagka-create nga siya ng jobs pero it's exploitative. And then in connection to Gigafactory, merong battery cell production, yung mass production of 4680 battery cells na gagamitin to power the Tesla car. So that was posted by Inside EV, a page for EV enthusiasts din. And then last, itong mataas na peak na to, it's from an article posted by Engadget. Ang title kasi ng article is We Were Promised Robots. But then when I read the article, it was about the state of Tesla as a company, current, and kung ano yung possible na mangyari sa kanya in the future. And sa mismong article, no robots were mentioned. Pero yung caption nila, it's parang sinasabi na we were promised robots. So yung comment section, kaya ang taas ng level of engagement dyan. So they were talking about robots na parang kailan daw gagawa, parang electric vehicles and self-driving cars are robots. So meron namang nagsasabi na hindi naman daw robots ang ginagawa ng Tesla company, ganyan. And I found it very kind of clickbaity kasi we were promised robots yung caption ng article niya, but the article itself didn't talk about robots.
But,
So,
yes, but in a figurative sense, basically, I suspect that the article really spoke about promises broken, promises made and promises broken by Tesla, right?
Actually,
Not much about robots.
the post was very positive.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so clickbait talaga.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's
Interesting.
I found that very interesting.
Oh my God. So these guys are smart. They're measuring stuff. Alam nila na yung medyo negative against Tesla, malakas ang engagement. Therefore, gagawa sila ng clickbait para habulin yung engagement na yun.
Right.
Really good. Really good. Smart.
This is the last theme, fuel economy and climate change. Ito yung konti lang yung number of posts for this theme. Pero ang nag-peak sa kanya, nag-go inside yung peak for number of posts and level of engagement, and that's because of Robert Reich's post na kinikriticize niya kino-call out niya si Elon Musk for his stance against Build Back Better bill.
Ano yan? Yung ito ba yung
This one.
highlighted na post? Yung may blue? Yan.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So, sa part na to, it was negative kasi kina-call out niya si Elon Musk na after benefiting of government subsidies and not paying taxes, ngayon parang in a way gina-gatekeep niya yung government subsidies na that would possibly help sana yung other families and other people. Pero since naka-benefit na siya, for him, hindi na okay yon kapag when it comes to benefiting other people na. So, it was kind of selfish of him. And so, ayan, ang daming angry acts and negative comments against Elon Musk.
That's interesting. Kaya ba nating i-balance of conversation yan, Carlo? Yung negative or whatever.
You mean yung comments niya?
Yung comments, Hindi, no?
I'll have to check. Parang wala pa akong nakitang way to get Facebook comments eh. YouTube comments pwede. Pero Facebook comments parang hindi available eh.
Yeah. Wag na. But,
Pero
ano
we
na
can
lang
get
siguro,
the balance of reacts. So we can
Yun.
see how many angry reacts, how many hearts, yung ganun.
that's super important, I think. Again, not for tomorrow, but down the line. No? So, take note lang kasi, napakaganda yun sa magandang engagement ng mga posts, kailangan maintindihan natin kung ano yung reaction ng madla. No? So, yun ang importante, yung reaction ng madla.
I think pwede mo na ang i-insert actually since you're focusing on this post. You may as well insert those details and doon lang naman siya sa dataset.
Ganda sana nun, Meg, kung kaya mo.
Alright, sige. I think nasa dataset naman na
Andun siya.
binigay ni
Parang
Carl.
love.
I'll just put in number of reacts.
Yes. Ano klase yung aso mo dyan? Chihuahua?
Japanese Spitz ang ingay niya.
Oo nga. Maano?
Or cutie.
Kulit.
Cutie, no. Last post that I want to point out, wait lang. Ito to. Sorry na misalign yung lines, pero ito yan. The speak here. It's about yun pa rin yung stance ni Elon Musk against Build Back Better. Pero this post was from conservative country. So it's a right-wing page, obviously. And then, yung post nila, they're supportive kay Elon Musk, sa decision ni Elon Musk na about his stance sa Build Back Better bill. So, yeah. Yun lang
And
for me.
earlier on, may Ben Shapiro posted na may 40,000 likes. So talagang fanboys tong mga right-wingers ni Elon Musk.
One, yes. Yung Elon Musk as person of the year.
Ayan, yung Ben
Ben
Shapiro.
Shapiro. Yeah, it was.
40,000 likes. Yeah, right. Super right-winger.
So,
Yun lang.
yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
Okay. So yung sa akin, very quick lang kasi I worked on the top keywords and key phrases for Facebook. And very similar lang yung slides to what Isaiah presented kanina. So dito, I took note of naman yung comments mo kanina doy sa slides for Twitter. Like for example, the keywords na alam nating obviously prevalent would be Elon Musk and Tesla.
Yes.
So those three words, I'll be removing them na from the options. And then,
Unless meron talaga ikaw nakita na really insightful about those words, no, na pwede natin ikwento. Yun lang naman, kasi parang ano lang parang kasi sila talaga yung subject ng research so baka lang hindi na insightful na kukunin sila. Yun lang sa akin.
yeah, okay. Ang napansin ko lang dito kasi kaya medyo nahirapan akong mag-pin down anong concordance ilalagay ko dito sa blue boxes. For all the themes, halos umuulit lang yung, slideshow ako. Umuulit lang yung top key phrases and top keywords. So for example, ito yung sa price, sales, and customers. Billion Musk sale round cryptocurrency. Ito yung sa manufacturing production. It's almost exactly the same. So parang just finding a way to differentiate the themes, doon ako medyo nag-struggle. Medyo na-blanco ako dyan. What else I can do for that?
The reason for that, and this is me just looking at the words and then yung concordance, these are all airdrop offers of these Musk coins.
Yeah.
Yung mga Musk-inspired coins. And then they tend to just copy-paste each other.
Yeah.
So that's probably what happened here. And then because these tend to be long posts, there will be very likely overlap between the data sets. Kaya
Yun
ganun.
nga.
Yeah.
So I was thinking paano mas magandang ipakita kasi parang umuulit lang yung contents nila as I go from one slide to the other. So
well,
ayun.
you know, that is a fact that we should also, state, right?
Yes.
Now these are stories that cross across the different themes, and in fact, they're so prevalent in each of the themes that if you look at the top key phrases, they're all the same, regardless of the theme. So, yeah, that's an important insight.
So that's fine, right? As long as maganda yung kwento natin kung bakit nagkaganon.
Okay, got it. And then, so yun lang. I'm just gonna breeze over through these. Ginawan ko na din siya ng
Whoa, this is nice.
So yan yung collocates also generated from Sketch Engine. So I limited it to 5 collocates per cluster. So we have verbs with Tesla object, verbs with Tesla subject, modifiers of Tesla, and nouns modified by Tesla. So yung concordance namin dito or annotation of the notable nodes within each cluster. So for some of the clusters, hindi ko kinuha yung pinakamalaki kasi for example, yung sa yellow, have. It's yung articles niya puro, Tesla has announced, Tesla has received, Tesla has ganyan-ganyan. So parang I picked release kasi it's a verb that's I think is more meaningful and has more context. So yan. Dito sa text na to, for now, I just got the concordance from Sketch Engine. So if you would look at Sketch Engine kasi, meron silang ganito. So we generated that visualization from Word Sketch. And if I want to see the concordances, for example, dito sa verbs with Tesla as subject. So ito siya, ito yung top. And then I just click this. Then ito na yung list of sample text where that word was used. So we have a left context and right context. And basically what I just did is to copy paste. So ang pagpili ko ng concordance, I tried to pick those that are more fit or relevant to the theme that is being talked about in that slide. And ayun, unless you have some other recommendations on what we put sa discussions here.
Ang sa akin
quickly
lang-
comment lang on the, sorry, do you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say na actually your selection of release here, Rach, it also does make sense because we don't necessarily want to be guided by the size of the circle. The size of the circle is simply the frequency that that word is used with. But the
Yeah.
typicality is actually the further away you are from the center, the more typical you are. Which means na it's more closely associated with Tesla rather than, let's say, include. Yeah. So actually using release makes sense. Although tama din naman yung sinabi mo. We want to put in the stuff that offers the richest insight. So yun lang. I just wanted a quick explanation.
Ang sa akin lang, sana yung verbs na, ano bang tawag dito, yung verbs that are used as parang prepositions. Tama ba yun? Yung have, has, ganun.
Yeah.
Baka pwedeng i-consider na natin na stop words yan kasi parang hindi na siya meaningful.
Pwede.
Yeah.
I-insert na lang natin sa stop words list natin. Yung ganyan.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yun lang naman for me. Kasi,
Really good. Ano yung de? Sorry ha.
ayan,
German de.
ano din. Yun din nga yung problem ko kasi laging nasasama sa sheet yung other languages. And ang hirap if manual iisa-isahin pa yung deletion. So,
Yeah, may
that's a
suggestion
Spanish
is gawa
word,
tayo
yung de
super
Tesla,
long.
de
Yeah, it's probably Spanish. Eh. So I think what we need to do is to combine all of our stop words list into one long list para lahat ng languages covered.
Yeah, tinry ko na siya. So, what I did, I also searched for all the stop words. Nakakuha na ako ng stop word list for Asian languages. And I compiled everything in one doc. Kaso when I ran them sa Sketch Engine, nag-crash na. Ayaw mag-load.
Oh, masyado mahaba.
Ang dami masyado.
Yeah.
Oo,
Okay.
yeah.
Pagka ganun, pwede kayang tanggalin na lang natin siya dun sa spreadsheet para hindi na siya masama sa chart. Or hindi.
So yun nga.
I think there's a way.
Iisa-isa.
There
Feeling
must
ko
be
parang
a-
iisa-isa.
I think we can explore it. I'm not sure din eh. Pero feeling ko there's a way of excluding specific words. Eh. Na separate pa from the stop words. But I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. So i-check na lang siguro natin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact na nag-collocates ka paano, Raish?
Yeah. Kasi parang direction din ni Carlo, we need to have these collocates for each social media. So, nagawa niya na kasi yung ibang channels eh. So, parang ginawan lang namin yung SOCMED na wala pa. Yeah. So,
Really good work.
next is Reddit.
Hello.
Hello.
I'll try to be as succinct as possible. Nakapagod na. Wait a minute. Okay, so for Reddit, I filled in some of the lorem ipsum stuff here. Kulang na lang ito because I think the figures for comments and likes are based on FB. So,
Oh,
minor na
okay.
lang yan.
It might have been a copy paste I did that I forgot
Yeah.
to remove. So, adjust na lang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Early. And then for here, I filled in na din kanina the lore, the annotations here.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
for Carlos, review na lang. If
Yeah.
This is really good.
so almost done with that.
So for the team pala, so I really appreciate that Soft did this. I'll take care na lang of yung kulang. I think may dalawa pang kulang na ganito eh. So I'll take care of that. Yeah. And thank you, Soft, for completing this also.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Please go ahead.
Moving on. This one, ito na lang yung kulang ko na annotations, but I will base the text here on whatever I have for the other teams, for each team. And the one on the left, I'll defer to Carlo kasi I'm not really familiar with the technical stuff on scraping limits. Okay. Next. Ito, showing it lang by basis kung ano yung pinalitan. This was what we had and I plan to delete this slide and replace it with this. It's basically just a breakdown, post per theme and interactions per theme with using a random sample of the 2,345 posts.
This is so important because this allows the communicator, the strategist to make decisions on which particular areas to focus on.
Yeah. And
Galing.
yeah, naka-annotate na din. So, mas madali na parang elevator pitch na lang if they want to use it. Moving forward, this is the template I made for the top stories.
Sorry.
Basically, yung criteria ko lang for this is just the number of upvotes, whichever had the most upvotes. And yung captions dyan, I just kind of played around with it. And
This is beautiful.
Really good. Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. If you want to use it for other social media, I think I can do that. I just need the data and the
Yes.
information.
Sorry, yes.
Next na. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. Isama yun. I retained this slide for theme of price, sales, and custom. For the coverage drivers of this theme, I think it's very self-explanatory and everything that we need to highlight is captured naman. Next, this one for labor-employee relations. This was the previous slide, and I changed it to this. The text on the left to this visual.
That's nice.
Maganda din yan.
That's nice.
Yeah, it basically talks about the sentiments of discussing Elon as person of the year. And you can see yung mga feature dyan na text sa left are the posts and not really the comments. So I hope that's okay.
But that's at least it's a good heuristic in terms of, yung, oh my God, I just saw the balance. I just nagtanggal ako ng mga picture natin. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So, I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but it's really good.
Yeah. I figured. Para lang siya text heavy all the time because I feel like this kind of format is super dry.
Exactly. Oo. Sana maganda kung maka-input ka dyan. So in our next as we improve this ha.
Yeah. Nahirap lang mag-isip. I can sit down on it on future. This was the old slide for production, supply, manufacturing, and what I did here is just feature the top communities on for this theme. Kasi diba yung Reddit naman, its main characteristic relies on anonymity. So hindi masyado valuable yung pag-feature ng users. So I just thought to feature the top communities that drove the conversations for this theme, which are there on the left.
Although I'll disagree with you a little bit, ha? Kasi even though anonymous yung users, therefore we can't really give kind of a story on who they are. The story on who they are as online personalities or as digital personalities is very clear based on their narratives or their positions on narratives. So in a way, important pa rin yun. Like for instance, for the longest time, hindi kilala ng mga ibang Redditors sa Wall Street Bets kung sino si Deep Fucking sino nga ba yan? Deep Fucking Value. Until sumikat siya dahil interview siya sa sa mga news outlets dahil nga because of GameStop, no? So in the sense, sino ba yung malalakas na kumuha ng engagement dito sa mga forums na ito? Kasi mabibilang mo yung sa R Superstock tsaka sa well, at least sa R Superstock, I don't follow Tesla Motors or or Crypto Moonshots eh. Mabibilang mo kung sino talaga yung mga Diyos nila dun eh.
Yeah. Sige, I guess we'll just remain vigilant when it comes to Reddit data.
Yes.
Next. Last theme is fuel economy. Pinalitan ko lang din siya similar previous themes. And yeah, and I guess would help that's it for the time.
S is for succinct.
Si Sean na yun. Sean na yun.
Hello, share ko lang.
Hi, Sean.
Wait. All right. Wait lang. Hindi ako makaklik. Ayun. Wait, ang nakikita nyo pala yung no? Wait, ayusin natin. Ayun. Okay na. Mas malaki na siya. Alright. So, similar dun sa kanina, for this one, overall top keywords and key phrases muna. As commented kanina, yung Elon, papalitan ko na lang siya siguro nung next one. Since medyo obvious naman kasi Tesla nga yung topic. So papalitan ko na lang si Elon dito sa blue box. And then ang interesting dito sa overall is that well, expected naman yung Reddit discussions about Tesla's or Elon Musk involvement in cryptocurrencies and stock market. Pero merong interesting na post dito na criticize na isang Redditor Elon Musk dun sa anti-work. And then after a few minutes, parang bigla siyang pinakyaw ng mga Elon Musk developers. Pansin niya ng yung mga namakyaw sa kanya are newly created accounts sa Reddit. So that's something interesting na in-include ko dito sa last paragraph. And then naglagay din ako ng short explanation kung paano nirank yung keywords and key phrases para lang clear dun sa audience if ever curious sila kung paano nirank yung mga keywords and key phrases. And then, sinubukan ko rin na instead of just clicking yung concordance sa Sketch Engine para kumuha na sample text, ang ginawa ko is ginamit kong basis yung overperforming score sa CrowdTangle. So, kapag mataas yung overperforming score ng isang post, ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung engagement na nakukuha niya than the average engagement na his past 10 posts, itong 10 posts na yon, mas mababa. Team.
Sorry.
So,
Can you go back?
I think pwedeng tingnan yung Reddit link mismo and then tingnan yung discussion nila.
Sige, kung pwede lang kasi we don't want to have a narrative or at least a sidebar that feels very anecdotal. Although I understand that it's anecdotal because you cherry picked it, and that's fine. Because we want to indicate, we want this to be indicative of certain behaviors in the internet, in this particular platform. We want also to, despite being anecdotal, substantiate the anecdotal evidence with some quantitative measures, metrics. So that makes sense.
Noted, Dre.
Yun naman yung ginawa mo, Sean, dun sa overperforming score, di ba? Tama ba?
Yeah. Kung sino yung mga pinakamataas na overperforming score, sila yung kinuha kong sample text dito.
Right.
Ayun. Sige, lagyan ko na lang ng numbers and details regarding that anecdote.
Thank you, Sean.
Any comments pa? Or move on na ako sa next?
Yeah, I think we can move on. Yeah.
All right. So for this one, specific theme naman siya, specifically for Tesla production and manufacturing. So some differences here from the overall is that meron tayong Dodge Father here, and then Flocky, Mad Mongoose, yung Telegram member nandun sa overall. So for background lang, Dodge Father and Flocky, token sila, cryptocurrencies. Mamaya merong interesting na discussion about this Flocky. Makikita natin. Yung main isa sa mga difference niya from overall is that this one may nakita akong specific for this theme. So merong post discussing the concept of blockchain technology replacing the stock market. As an example, sinabi nila na yung Tesla cars is ginawa sila to replace the current fuel-powered cars. So, for example, si Ford, GM, Honda, and Toyota. So, ang point niya dun is hindi naman nagpaalam si Tesla na gagawa siya ng electric vehicles. Hindi naman siya nagpaalam kay Ford, Honda, and Toyota. So, example na sinabi ng Redditor in support sa statement niya na someday, papalitan ng blockchain technology yung current stock market. And then, meron din tayong discussion focusing on the criticism sa updates ng Tesla car interface. So, pumangit na UI and UX ng mismong Tesla car sa loob, doon sa panel. Ayun. Ayun.
But what's the are these the the prevailing narratives, or are these? It feels very anecdotal, based on your story, Sean.
Yeah. Sila kasi yung wait. Sige.
The post that
check ko
you
yung
included here
Sorry,
and that you
grabe.
read, sorry, sila yung overperforming, right? Which I think is a reasonably good heuristic for how dominant a narrative is. Kasi overperforming means is parang it exceeded by a wide margin yung typical na engagement that a post would get. Right?
Okay.
Tama ba, Sean?
Yeah.
Ganun yung ginawa mo, di ba?
Kaya ginawa ko siyang basis.
Okay.
Ayun. Kasi parang nahihirapan ako sa sketch engine na kukunin ko lang yung top result na lalabas na sa concordance, and parang nahihirapan ako maghanap ng related doon sa specific theme. Pero dito kasi nung tinignan ko yung overperforming score, okay naman siya. Ayun. So yun yung lumabas.
Okay.
And then-
Sige. If it sana kung may overperforming score siya, tapos laro lang sa atin para lang ma-back up natin yung assertions natin with something quantitative, no? Yun lang naman.
But if you
The story I think is
sorry. If you include
ahead.
siguro sample text or post from Reddit, pwede mo nang ilagay yung overperforming score doon. You know, just to explain kung bakit siya yung in-explore natin na narrative.
Yeah. Include ko na lang siguro dito yung scores nila mismo.
Yeah.
Ayun. For the other themes, kailangan ko kunin ulit yung data kasi parang nagkakaroon siya ng nawawala ibang columns. So, hindi ko yung overperforming score na, pero gagawin ko siya after nitong meeting. So tonight, tatapusin ko yung other themes. Tatapusin ko yung top keywords and key phrases nila. And then for the next one, we have main word collocates. So mga revisions ko dito is aside from nalagyan ko na ng sample usage ng collocates dun sa kanan, so meron ka ng mga sample text kung saan ginamit si Buy, Model, Apple, and SpaceX. Binago ko rin yung what does the size of the node tells us. So instead of that, ang ginawa ko dito is ito na lang, what does this chart tells us. Ang ginawa ko, explanation siya. Very short explanation pero concise on what the chart tells you. So this highlights that buy is the most typical word to appear with Tesla. Specifically, the combination buy Tesla motivates Reddit users to buy Tesla stocks and cars. And moreover, it also had the biggest circle, which means it was the most frequent word appearing with Tesla. Other notable combinations include Apple Tesla, Tesla car, Tesla SpaceX, Tesla model, include Tesla, Sue Tesla, and alleged Tesla. So, sinama ko si Sue Tesla at si alleged Tesla sa dulo kasi sila yung medyo very different sa mga
striking sila.
Ibang verbs na nandito.
It's really good. So, medyo negative sila, di ba? So, which means to say na yung narrative is not monolithic. Hindi lang siya panay positive. Which is where the balance of power sana becomes very important. But this is really good. That's a really good explanation. Sana ma-finesse pa natin ng kaunti, Carlo, tapos magamit natin. What does it mean? Basically, yung what does this chart tell us is another way of saying that is what does this mean? Minsan kasi ang hirap itindihin kung ano bakit importante. Anyway, so go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, what does it mean for me, right? You know,
Yes,
as a
exactly.
head of a company, for example. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically kasi yung goal ko dito sa call out na to is bibigyan ko si audience ng simple explanation ng chart, and then meron din siyang guide sa lower left ng how to interpret this chart. So, nirevise ko na siya konti, tailored dun sa Tesla na main topic. So, if ever meron siya makitang word, magagets niya kung paano interpret sa sarili niya. Ayun.
Baliktad pala yung sinabi ko kanina, Meg. I think it was you. I think the closer it is to the center pala, the more typical it is. Baliktad yung sinabi ko kanina. But anyway, yun lang.
Yeah. Ayun. Sige. Yung next one is... Ang next na ba? Oh. Ayun. Okay. So, skip muna to kasi merong pinag-post si Carlo na bagong version nito. Ayun. And then, ito, pinag-usapan namin to ni Carlo a while ago. Medyo mahirap. Parang ang hirap niya ang hirap i-argue na madali siyang tanggapin as an audience. Mahirap siyang intindihin in one slide. Ayun. So, baka hindi na lang isama to, Carlo?
Yeah, yung suggest ko, tanggalin na lang natin. I feel it doesn't offer as much value than as the other slide. I mean, for example, so what if employee is more closely associated with Tesla than crypto? Right? Doesn't.
Yeah, definitely mayroon siyang value. Pero for me kasi, napaka-niche ng value niya. Parang kailangan mo na specific words na mag-appear dito sa gitna and specific words din doon sa kanan at kaliwa para maging entirely valuable siya. Ayun, or meaningful.
So the reason I thought of including this is because meron tayong word pairs, diba? So I was thinking we could do the word pairs dito and then just compare how some of these collocates which word in the word pair they're more closely associated with. It's just that when we actually tried it out, parang mahirap sabihin kung ano yung ino-offer niya na insight.
Actually, para sa akin, napakaganda siya kung kaya natin mag-drill down. So for instance, Musk and Bezos, adjective predicates most associated with token versus Musk versus token versus Musk top scoring keywords. Bezos is not an adjective. What does this mean? So parang, but Bezos is a noun, I suppose, right? So, so hindi lang siya adjective predicates. These are basically words in general that are associated. Tama ba? That are collocated in a certain corpus of text.
I have a feeling that's just a labeling thing. This is probably modifiers of Musk and token.
Yeah, so sana ano lang, modifiers and token. So sobrang, sa akin maganda ito kung kaya mong i-trace kung ano yung context ng relationship ni Musk at ni Bezos dito sa corpus na ito or ng ETFs and crypto. No, because ETFs are an investment instrument. And ano yung relationship niya sa crypto? This becomes really interesting kung kaya nating mag-drill down. Napakaganda nito actually kung kaya nating mag-drill down. And I think you should continue exploring this particular model, analytical model. Tama ba? This is an analytical model eh. Tama ba?
Yeah.
And the relationship ng mga words sa dalawang model.
Yeah, go ahead.
Siguro, I think, valuable naman siya, meaningful. But then, yung problem dito is yung kailangan maganda talaga yung dalawang words na ipag-compare mo. For example, si Elon Musk at si Bezos. I think mag-work yun. So,
yeah, it's the word pair choice yung crucial.
yeah. So if we're gonna include this for tomorrow, pwede ko na siyang gawin, pero kailangan ko nung words na gusto talaga natin pagbangga. So, for example, isa na yun si Musk tsaka si Bezos. But then ang problem ko doon is for the entire report, halos wala tayong mention ni Jeff Bezos, tapos biglang dito pinag-compare natin silang dalawa. So, ayun lang, naisip ko lang. Ayun.
Well, yeah, siguro later na lang pag-usapan natin next week. I'm just saying, I don't think it should be disregarded because it has promise. It's just that right now it's an incomplete solution, right?
Yeah, medyo hilaw pa siya compared to the other parts of the report.
Tama.
Yeah, ayun.
I mean, interesting, bakit na-associate si Netflix kay Tesla? No, so, and if we figure out that association, then, you know, then some things will make sense.
Yeah, sige. Explore natin siya next time. And then for the next slide na, nagahang ba yun? Ako nagahang eh. For this one, sa subtopic relationship. So ang ginawa ko dito is tinignan ko yung discussions for every cluster and communities. And then kung ano yung major discussion, yun yung ginawa kong title ng cluster kasi yun yung pinag-uusapan doon sa cluster na yun. So, eto na. So, lumabas na si Floki Dodgefather coin. So, this one is siya yung number 1 cluster dito. So, siya yung rise of Floki Dodgefather coin, yung blue cluster. So, interestingly, yung Floki Dodgefather coin was based on Elon Musk's pet puppy named Floki. And then, tinignan ko yung price history niya. Yung price niya suffered a huge drop in January 30, 2022 and has not recovered ever since. So, yun yung sinulat ko dito. So instead of putting sample texts, nilagyan ko na lang na summary kung ano yung pinag-uusapan nila.
Pero sorry ha, ito yung pinag-uusapan nila based on pero ano yung narratives, no? Ano yung narratives diyan? Yun siguro yung kasi guys, parati so meron tayong hierarchy ha. Ang hierarchy natin would be themes, large themes, subtopics or sub-themes, and then the narratives, you know, that kind of, and actually it's paradoxical kasi in the hierarchy mauna yung themes, tapos yung sub-themes, tapos yung narratives, right? Pero paradoxically, probably mas importante yung narratives under the themes and sub-themes than the themes themselves. So ang tanong natin dito is ano yung narratives tungkol sa rise of Floki Dodgefather? Yun talaga ang gusto nating punot dulo ng discussion.
Sige.
So meron ba siyang narrative saying na galing-galing ni Elon Musk na napag-isipan niya tong Floki na na crypto? Tapos meron bang meron bang countervailing narrative that says, nako, this is another scheme to make money from the ultimate grifter Elon Musk? Parang ganon.
Okay. Sige. I think makikita ko yun sa talaga, sa comments ng Reddit. Kasi ang tinignan ko lang muna dito yung mga posts. So, most of the posts meant lang na meron tayong bagong launch na coin. Bumili kayo nito. Ito yung mga details nila. Ito yung pancake swap and so on. Ayun, I think to get the narratives, kailangan tignan yung comments mismo. Kung ano yung perception ng mga Redditors.
Exactly. Tapos, ano yun, cursory yun, tapos hindi siya, indicative lang siya kasi hindi ka naman mag-random sampling na makikita mo talaga yung pero at least katulad nung ginawa ni Sofia, sana makagawa ka nung cheesy na weighing scale na para makita natin kung saan ba predominantly supportive ba yung community or balanced ba siya or predominant or meron bang talagang tit for tat na naglalaban na narratives under that particular theme, no? Or sub-theme. Yun ang gusto natin parati na ikwento.
Sige, Day. I think madali lang siya makita sa Reddit kasi maganda yung up vote and down vote system nila doon.
Exactly. Lilitaw sa ibabaw Diba? Kasi itataas niya
Right. Sige. Sige, gawin ko na lang din yun for the other clusters na nandito.
But comment guys kasi yun sana talaga yung value ng ginagawa nating narrative mining because that's exactly what it's called, narrative mining. Therefore, we mine the narratives under these themes.
Sige. Gawin ko siyang mas specific galing dun sa comments discussion nila.
Yes.
I think last slide na ata to. Yeah, last slide na. Carlo, do you have anything na i-discuss?
Well, as I said earlier, sige, pakita ko lang yung working template for yung sinabi ko nina na quadrant of supporters and detractors. Pero wala pa siyang laman kasi I need to review all of your slides first. And so that's why I would appreciate yung parang ginawa ni Sof.
Sean, thank you dun sa it's really good. Yun lang sana makapag-focus tayo sa when we drill down dun sa narratives.
Noted. Sige.
So,
hindi ako mapag-share.
Kasi ang gusto natin dito machismis Sino yung nagsasabong? Yun ang importante. At sino yung nag-aaway at ano yung mga pinag-aawayan nila.
Pinapakwit ako ni Zoom so I can start sharing. But maybe I can just do it tomorrow kasi nakwento ko naman kanina what I'm planning on doing. So what I'm planning on doing apart from all of the final stuff, meaning the recommendation, the answers to the 4 big questions per theme, ano yung sinabi ng different kinds of influencers. So if you recall, Doy, those were slides we had in the narrative mining report from last year. So I'm going to replicate those for this report. And then yung quadrant in this na left, center, right, it's the spectrum going from opponents to detractors to neutral to promoters to allies. So parang yun yung gagawin ko. Yeah.
Yes. Galing. And Carlo, I know you and your team have really worked hard on this. You guys have really done a good job. Last leg na naman ito, habulin lang natin. And I know talagang binuhos yung lahat dito. Ang sa akin lang, sana bukas, ano ba to? Zoom ba itong bukas? Or may face-to-face ba yung ilang members ng group na kayang pumunta?
Feeling ko kasi with the limited time we have, baka
Zoom na lang.
Kakain pa ng oras yung travel time especially
Tama
sa
naman.
others na 2 hours yung travel time. So, Zoom na lang and then 3 o'clock PM siguro yung run through again namin with you.
Oo nga. Anong oras nga ba yung meeting? Alas 10 ba? Hindi ko na matandaan
Hindi ko alam.
Ay, hindi ko pa nasisend sa inyo yung link. Isisend
hindi pa.
ko mamaya. Alas 8 ata. Parang ganun. Kung hindi man alas 8, mag-prepare na lang tayo alas 10. Kung okay lang sana, Carlo, Rachel, and Sofia, kung okay lang, ito yung comments nung kausap natin.
Sige.
No, so, ayun lang, medyo gabi na, pasensya na, pero I just feel that it would be good if the 4 of us could join that meeting. No?
Sige. So, that's the end of the session. Before we end, siguro a few notes lang. Meron pa kasing YouTube, pero since it's been almost 3 hours na, we'll just present that tomorrow. Kumbaga, all the comments you've had from the other SOCMED, i-apply na lang namin doon. And then, so kasi throughout this meeting, there have been lots of comments and more action items. So para lang wala kaming ma-miss, I'm thinking of transcribing this recording again.
Oh, I
Okay.
feel that you need to make valued based decisions on the action items. Kayo nang bahala. You don't have to do all the action items, but you need to kind of be able to discern ano kaya yung magbibigay ng mas coherent at mas compelling na storya doon sa kausap natin bukas. Ang question parati niyan is, how does this help me make decisions as a communication strategist? Sometimes those decisions, those solutions can be easier done by just doing the visual work. Yung mga ginawa ni Sofia ay sus Mariosep, napaka-helpful yon. At mas madali na hindi kailangang sobrang dudurugin niyo yung utak ninyo. As much as iisip creatively, mapapaisip talaga kayo, no? Baka ganun. Kayo nang ngayon, kung merong hindi mahabol, you don't have to kill yourselves over it. So, yun lang sa akin. Kasi pwede naman tayong mag-postmortem on Monday or on Tuesday. Tapos pag-usapan natin kung paano natin siya improve so that we can do other. In the next few presentations, mas gaganda pa siya lalo. If that's okay, Rish.
Yeah. Sige.
Ayoko lang na mamatay kayo dahil marami pa rin kayong gagawin. Tapos masunog na kayo and then mahirapan tayo moving forward with work that is already on our plate, right? Instead of just the prospective stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sige.
Doy, if we're meeting on Zoom tomorrow for the review, does this mean we should have our lunch on Monday instead of tomorrow? What's your preference?
Yes. Next
Okay.
week na. Kayo nang, you guys have done a great job. You deserve, to be able to, just do this final stretch in peace, right? So.
All right. Sige. Ayun, any final things before we close?
Carlo,
Yep.
assess lang dun sa kung ano yung mga keywords na ginamit mas pag-extract ng CloudTangle data.
Sige, although if you go to CloudTangle, tapos punta ka sa saved searches, makikita mo dapat yung keywords doon. But let me know if there's a problem na lang.
Saan may kopya ako?
Wait lang, nag-copy na, Carla.
Saan may kopya ako? Gusto mo send ko sa'yo?
Ano complete yung columns mo? Complete yung columns niya?
Yung para sa CloudTangle.
Sige, papasa. Thank you.
Sa Viber na lang.
Alright.
Alright. Sige, I guess we can close there. It's been a long meeting, really good suggestions, really good work from everyone. So, bukas ulit. Bye.
Wala ka, Carl. Pero yeah,
Wala
bye.
ka. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Rish, thanks for convening. Carlo, great, excellent work. Sophia, everyone else, I really appreciate this. See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Guys, reports team, pwede stay muna kayo saglit. Bilis lang.
Okay.
So,
Ako, Rachel.
ay, bye, Louie, sorry. Bye, Marco. Thank you for attending.
Stay din ba ako?
Sige.
Multitask
Ayun.
kami.
Bye guys, thank you.
Bye. Kaboses na kayo.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Nimeg. Okay, bye-bye. Okay. Sige, guys. Either, alam ko kasi pagod na tayong lahat. Either, meron natin na ibang billing
today. I
Well,
suggest you just stop working
ayun
today and
nga,
then do it
yun yung
tomorrow
iaano ko
morning.
either, yeah, it's up to you na lang to manage the time. Either mag-OT kayo ngayon or pahinga na for now. Kasi yung sa akin, nakikita ko, gusto ko na matapos to, at least yung part ko. Or either pahinga na kayo, tas gising na lang siguro ng mas maaga tomorrow. Last stretch na to, guys. Last stretch na to. So siguro, kasi ang daming comments kanina, kailangan talaga yung transcript ko para pare-pareho tayo ng ginagawa. Kumbaga, paano tayo magkuha ng narratives? Paano tayo mag-determine ano ilalagay sa annotations? Kasi baka since we're working separately, medyo magkakahiwalay tayo ng baka iba-iba din yung ginagawa natin eh. So we just need to understand how each of us works. So I'll try to send that transcript very soon, right after this call. Simulan ko siya. Tapos, ayun, pahinga naman kayo guys.
Wait, Rich, quickly lang. Ano yung meeting bukas? Bakit ako kasama? Sorry. Birthday kasi ng kuya ko, so...
It's okay. Hindi sa mandatory if meron ka ng plans. Pero yun yung call na sinasabi ni Doy na yung presentation na mismo with the client. And parang naisip
partner
ko siguro,
from Chicago.
yeah. Naisip ko siguro include kasi yung research design principles mo nagustuhan ni Doy eh. So, it's okay. It's okay if you don't attend kasi may prior engagements.
Well, dinner lang naman yun. But if it's 10 p.m., I can...
Okay. Sige. We'll just wait for the link from Doy. Yun lang guys. Up to you how you want to manage your time. Pero sana matapos natin by 3 o'clock tomorrow. So, 3 p.m. na yung presentation with Doy. Siguro, kasi parang na-discuss na naman natin in detail lahat, na-explain yung narratives. Bukas medyo mas mabilis na yung discussion. Kasi ang babaguhin lang naman natin yung format, and then we'll add narratives. Pero, ayun.
Question pala. Sorry. Yung YouTube ba, meron pa yung keyword phrases, chuchu? Wala na, di ba?
Meron. Ginawan ko siya. Meron na siya.
Yung YouTube?
Oo.
Okay,
Meron
sige.
na siya ng charts. Yung kulang ko na nga lang is yung annotations. Tapos napansin ko kagabi nung nag-browse ako, nagba-browse, wala pa pala siyang collocates. So, pwede ko naman siyang dagdagan nun. Madali lang yung collocates eh. Yung annotations lang talaga yung medyo nahihirapan ako. For example, sige, tingnan natin yung sa'yo, Isaiah, di ba meron kang top keywords, key phrases?
Yeah.
Yung method mo, sige, can you, sorry, mabilis lang.
Okay lang. No problem.
Ano yung method mo for
this?
For the things you put, yeah, dyan sa
Okay.
box na yan.
So the way I did this kasi is, diba, since I also made the time series, I actually had to read all of the tweets na. So, ang ginawa ko na rin kasi when I was making the time series, I put it into separate sheets for each theme. Tapos dito, binasa ko lang yung top 30 themes. Tapos, when I noticed that there was a word here, chinek ko yung, actually, reference ko dito yung buong chart in terms of keywords. Then I just added it here. Sorry if that's not super scientific pero, or specific, pero that's how I looked at it.
So, bale, dito sa top 30 sa etong sheet na to.
O yung sa Excel?
Yeah, sa Excel. Tinry mo lang hanapin yung keywords and key phrases na lumabas dun sa chart. Tama ba?
Kung hindi, if hindi siya mahanap, just keep going down lang. Kasi at a glance, mabilis lang naman siya eh. Tapos, ang mindset ko kasi dito is since I ordered my key phrases in terms of top engagement as well as top engagement, then I think those would be representative na in terms of the data set. Tama ba?
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
got it.
All right.
Sige, I'll try to do that na lang din.
Wait, sorry. One last question pala before we end. Yung sa minention earlier ni Doy na dapat we describe yung ano pangalan yung
nga.
discordance. Is this right ba? Like for this, I just said that the phrase was used to question the motive behind Elon Musk's Tesla decisions, or this one, it's just to point out the irony that Tesla started out surviving because of subsidies, and now Elon is against it. Is that right?
I think that's right. The one for Tesla stock, I think it's just a bit too brief. So you might want to expand that a little bit. But
Alright.
yes, you're on the right track.
Okay, nice, thanks. Also, sorry, one last. Carlo, was the Excel file I sent you okay na ba? Or do you need more data on that?
Sorry, what's that?
Last night. The Excel file I sent you last night about tit for tat. Yung,
yeah.
Yeah, was that okay? Or do you need more data?
No,
on it?
that's fine. Yeah, it just slipped my mind, but that works for me. Yeah.
Okay, nice, thanks. Sige, I'll stop screen sharing na.
And then
Question din.
also, I know I requested yung parang narratives na parang just to help me with those final slides.
Right.
Don't make that the priority. Prioritize na lang yung revisions nyo kasi I can just read it din naman myself if needed. It would be helpful lang pero don't prioritize it. Okay, go ahead, Meg.
Ayun, dapat yung itatanong ko yung kung ano yung kailangan mo ulit from us. Pero, okay lang. Mag-send na lang ako ng links. Helpful ba yung links of posts?
Yeah, pwede rin. And, I actually have the data sets din naman. I just thought it would make it quicker for us kasi under time pressure tayo. But basically, since everyone has to do some revisions, prioritize the revisions na lang.
Yeah. Okay.
Helpful ba yung slide na yung may laundry list of narratives? Because I can send that to Isaiah and Meg.
That's very helpful, actually. Yeah, it's really helpful.
Sige, send ko na lang din sa kanila para ipasok na lang nila yung stories and links.
Pwede, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Habol lang din. Dito sa collocate slide, so tama ba na yung ilalagay dito is summary or description instead of sample text? Kumbaga, description of how the verb was used or how the noun is in relation to Tesla.
Saan part?
Dito, sa collocate. Ito.
Ang nilagay ko dyan, sample text.
Sample text. Okay.
Mm.
Sige. So, dito sample text.
Pero siya, sample text na. Hindi lang ng word na include. Dapat siya, include Tesla, yung nandun sa text. Or
lang may context kung paano siya nagre-relate to Tesla.
kasi kung include lang, pwedeng wala naman Tesla dun. Ayun.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Or pwede naman.
Paano mo yung pinifilter sa Paano mo yung pinifilter sa dataset? Paano mo hinahanap?
Secret. Joke lang. Kaya filter. Yung filter, punta ka sa, di ba, wait. Medyo sabog na rin ako.
Yung context. Tapos
yung text filters. Wait, share ako ng screen para madali. Ayan, nakikita niyo ba Excel file? Right. So, ayan. Dito sa description. So, naka-filter na yung columns ko, di ba? So, dito, may drop down yung filter. And then, pwede kang gumamit ng text filters. Tapos, custom filter. So, pwede kang magkaroon ng dalawang words dito.
Okay.
Lalagay mo contains, Tapos, ano ba, include. Tapos, yung isa is contains din. So, parang nilang kina-contain include and Tesla. Parang ganun.
Oo, tama.
And so, ayan, may mga lalabas.
Nice.
Good strategy.
Sige, sige.
Yeah.
Ayun. Yun lang for me. Any questions from the others?
Ayun pa, ano, yung sa ni-raise ko kaninang concern, yung tungkol dun kay ay total nung engagements. Kasi nga kapag retweet siya, di ba, i-retweet ng isang actor, so mag-a-appear siya multiple times doon sa list, depende kung ilang actors yung nag-retweet ng tweet na yon. So yung favorites niya, yung retweets. So kapag pinivot table mo siya para isum mo yung total engagements, madodoble-doble lang. So ang ginawa ko rin yung parang ginawa ni Sean na yung i-exclude yung mga tweets na may RT space at sa unahan kasi di ba yun yung mga tweets na retweets. Kaya hindi ko in-exclude ko yun doon sa kinakount kong tweets sa pag-sum ng mga engagements. So bali ang kino-consider ko lang is yung mga original tweets talaga.
I think that's fine. Parang wala namang problem doon. So, go lang.
So, ayun lang naman.
Sorry, clarify ko na rin. So, okay lang rin yung ginawa ko pa right now or should I change it then? Try ko i-exclude yung may RT.
Ganda siguro pareho kayo nito eh.
If it takes too much time, don't change anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Kasi ano naman eh. The count, kasi it's really more about the rankings, right? It's rather than the absolute value of whatever it is we're looking at. So if the rankings naman remain the same, whether or not you filter out yung mga RTs na yun, then it's okay. So if it would take too much time, just don't do it.
Okay. Sige. Thanks, Carlo.
Nag-gets niyo ba yung sinasabi ko? Pwede ako mag-share screen para ipakita ko yung instance na nahanap ko.
Yeah.
Share screen
Sige.
ko na lang. So, ayan, for example, itong ano na to, itong range na to. So, retweet siya kasi may RT tapos at Elon Musk. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga actors na to, ni-retweet nila yung tweet ni Elon Musk na to. Ito yung blow the whistle on Tesla. So, ayan, mapapansin nyo yung ano niya, yung metrics niya. Ito yung favorites, tsaka yung retweets. Pare-parehas lang. Tapos hindi naman nagdadagdag yung increments per retweet. So, I assume na itong values na to, reflected na to dun sa original tweet kung sino man yung actor na nag-tweet na
I
yun.
understand now. Okay.
Kaya hindi ko sinasali tong mga tweets na may RT kasi kapag nag-sum ka ng total engagements, masasum tong mga naulit na to, itong mga naulit na to. So, ma-artificially boost lang yung total engagement values ng mga actors. Since yung retweet, since itong favorites tsaka retweets nitong ni-retweet nila, not necessarily sa kanila dapat.
Okay. Tama. So,
dapat
yes,
kay
tama
Elon
naman yung
Musk mapupunta yung ganito.
Yep, you're correct.
Kaya ang ginawa ko rin is yung ginawa ni Sean, yung dito. Ito yung does not contain, tapos RT space at. Ayan. So, bale, ito na lang yung i-consider ko lahat. Kasi, ito lahat to, mga unique tweets na to. I mean, mga original tweets na to, nitong mga authors na to. Kaya kapag nag-count ka ng engagements via pivot table, I assume mas accurate yung makukuha mong values.
Tama. Okay, I didn't realize na ganun pala yung nangyari. And you're perfectly correct. So, yeah. Tama yun. That said, I say don't change anything. I think it's more critical for Chui because his part focused on the actors.
Yeah,
Your
may
part
association
focused on
sa actors.
total
Yung sa akin.
interactions. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter too much with yours, Isaiah. So I wouldn't change it.
Kaya matagal ako mag total ng mga top tweets. Ina-associate ko pa yung mga tweets sa mga actors.
Sige. Thanks rin, Soy, Carlo. Actually, yun pala yung question ko earlier. Kung bakit parang hindi proportionate yung retweets tsaka
napansin ko din.
favorites. Pero yeah, sige. Thank you. At least next time, I know now what to revise.
Okay, any final questions?
Siguro lahat ng updated presentations nyo, pagsama-samahin natin sa isang drive folder, as in yung pinresent nyo kanina, the most updated.
Yes, please.
Para din, for example, di ba merong slide si Soph na gusto din ma-apply to the other SOCMED. So para lang lahat tayo may reference anong ginawa ng bawat isa. Sige.
And I'll also need to read your slides for the other stuff na gagawin pa lang.
Yeah, I'll send mine after I finish the annotations.
Yes,
Okay,
fine.
sige.
Kasi ako, actually mag-drive off from Baguio tonight eh. So tomorrow morning ko na matutuloy.
Okay,
So
sige.
it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, sige.
Yeah.
That's fine. Para din, naisip ko kailangan na nating magpahinga. So pahinga siguro muna tayo ngayong gabi. Yeah. Okay. Yun lang. Thanks, guys. Carlo, pasend na lang ng recording after para ma-transcribe.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for all the hard work, everyone. Have a good
Bye-bye.
rest. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night. Sige. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks.